not fair. Cause that's just who I am right now. Something, something next to a mausoleum. Up all night. Take away. We're always sleeping and we were sleeping for the wrong reasons. Where are my headphones? Hold up. Alright, friendly friend, I'm live. My lunchbox. Alright, beautiful people. You've got headphones. We're ready to get started. Alright. We got Shinigami in the building. What's good, Brody? Oh no. Okay. Bye, Becca. Have a fun time at Harvester. Mm-hmm. Alright. Let me just clean up some of this stuff on my browser real quickly.
Don't forget, don't wash my white stuff.
Don't wash your white stuff. Yep. Okay. All right. We got Dr. Strangle, 4659. I like Dr. Strangle. That's a good name. That's a good name. Now, Android 17 should take note. When you watch this, because I don't remember the exact name I gave you, but I think it was like Bazooko or Bazooke or Baliko. But Android 17 does work. Take notes, Android 17. Dr. Strangle is a good name. Very easy to remember. Doesn't have a PFP, but it's Dr. Strangle. Right? It's close to Doctor Strange. That's very easy to recognize. Yo, 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 yo. How we doing? How we doing? I'm seeing the soundbar move. What's good? Mute. How we doing? How we doing? How we doing? Yo, yo, yo. How we doing? How we doing? Now we can hear you. Let's go. Okay, cool, cool, cool. By the way, I have closed captions on. Is that helping anybody? Is it helping anyone follow along better? Yeah. All right, hold up. Let me go back. People have been going through the novels and found a car dodging a Gran Recero. A car dodging a Gran Recero? What novel is this? I certainly haven't seen or heard of this novel, so that's interesting. That would be a very novel thing to dodge a Gran Recero with a car. Wouldn't you think so? Sound is good. Hearing you, beautiful. Just read the chat. Just read the chat, or else I'll discriminate everyone. Oh my god, ads. Yeah, oh yeah, so for the ads, Shinigami, here's what the deal is for the ads. They're on automatic, and it's kind of fit to best user experience. I feel like I'm shouting. The ads are on automatic, and they're on to fit to best user experience. So don't get me wrong, I can control them as far as like if they play or not, but I cannot dictate or control where they will be in the video, how often they pop up, because they're on automatic. So I do apologize about that. What I might do though is I want to get some more data first for these ads. I want to do a few lives with them, and then what I can do is I can turn off ads completely for like the live, and then turn them back on for the people who would view the live after I've already been live, right? So, but I want to see a little bit more data on if I have ads running while I'm live versus if I turn off ads and then I insert them after. How much is that going to affect, you know? So I want to see that first. LOL, you can have captions on the live. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Ab-Stract, turn it off. No, sir. All right. Listen, if I turn off ads, well, no, I'll say this. What I'll do is this, Shinigami, because we got to support our creators. We got to support our platform. What I'll do is this. I will turn on, I'll turn on super chats. And if super chats can exceed live revenue, I'll turn off ads completely for live streams. I'll do that. But it got to be a balance. So you got to see what we're working with. All it takes is one person to donate $10, and then we don't have to have any ads for any of these. So we'll see. We will be seeing. But okay, desktop audio. All right, let me. Before we start, yeah, real quick, how was your guys' week? How's your week? And what are we doing this weekend? Is everyone enjoying the warm spring weather? Is everyone good with work? Super chat sounds good. Okay, cool. We can do that. We can do that because, like I'm saying, the money from the ad revenue is cool, but it is per every 1,000 views, which means for me, for someone like me who can't put out as much video content just because the video content right now will take a little longer. The lives would be the main source of how I'm actually like making anything. But like I said, they take everything per 1,000 views. And my lives average about 150 to 200. So that's like 5 lives before I make any type of money. But all that could be changed if we did just go right to super chat. So yeah, that makes perfect sense. Okay. Going to draw eventually. Got you. Cool. But okay. Most people are just going to be seeing this on the playback anyway. Oh, hold up. Ab-Stract, I'm the guy who sent you the link to my website. Oh! Did they change? Hold up, bro. Hold up. Did they change your username? Because last time, I thought I saw you in John the Maven's. I thought I saw you in John's chat before. And you actually had a PFP. Or was that somebody else? Were you in John's chat, Dr. Strangle? If you want to use any of the content on it, feel free to do so. I definitely will, bro. And hey, I appreciate you. I appreciate the hard work. I love when people, like I said, I think I told you this. I love when people take the AAAP outside of the community. I love when it's like expressed in video formats or websites and stuff like that. So you're doing great work. I definitely appreciate you. And hey, keep going. Please keep going, bro. Please keep going. Like I said, a lot of good stuff there. Actually, we might review your website on stream one of these days. I might dedicate an entire stream to the website, just going through it and stuff like that, seeing, see what people are rocking with, all that other good stuff. Also, warm weather. It's 2 degrees to 6 degrees today, Celsius. Damn, that's cold. Nah, I just have a different username on YouTube than Discord. Nah, my PFP is always okay. Interesting. I might have been thinking you were someone else than when I was watching John's stream. Then I thought okay, interesting. I've also seen him in John the Baby's. Shout out to John. Oh man, that was funny. I've also seen him in John the Maven's chat. He seemed like a pretty chill dude. Dude, cool website. Hey yo, so real quick, I want to give John his flowers. So for the people who are going to be watching this back on the playback, well, first off, let me address this. Shinigami, Lon Jax, Luna Ursa. You guys clearly do not fuck with your boy. We're clearly ops. We're clearly enemies. We have beef, apparently, because why was I the last person to find out that John had a channel, number one, and that John be spitting some heat? How was Ab-Stract the last person to find this out? No one wanted to link your channel, John. No one wanted to mention you had a channel. It came up in the chat, and I had to be like, John has a channel? Then I had to go check it out myself. I was like, oh, John know what he's talking about. John really be doing this. So shout out to John the Maven, man. I joined the stream a little late, that first one, or the one I caught. I joined it a little late, but then throughout my work day, it was a very slow day, so I had a lot of time. I went back to the very beginning of that stream and watched it. It was great. It was really enjoyable. It was really good. I liked hearing a lot of your perspectives, John, number one. Number two, if you're interested in breakdowns, if you're interested in arguments, he even covered a little philosophy, right? The presentation on modal realism was very, very good. I thought it was extremely comprehensive for someone like me who's like hasn't heard of it. And I think you said too, John, that you were even researching it in preparation just to talk about it. So I think you did really good in breaking down modal realism. It's a very interesting / fascinating / weird ideology and concept, I will say. Just think about it right now. It was just really funny. He's like, okay, cool. So every possible universe or world that exists or that can exist does in fact exist, but we can't prove it. Okay, and then it was funny because me and you, like I think all of us, but me and you we were on the same page. It's like, okay, cool. They do exist if they can exist, so therefore they do. What is the utility behind them existing though? How does this help us? What does this do for us? Oh, well, the argument is not what it does for us, but just that it can exist, just that we can have it. Okay. To what end though? Like how does this help us? What does this help us do? Right? And so it's very interesting because when I was listening to Sage kind of use it in argument form, you were correctly right in pointing out that if he was using modal realism, it was definitely an offshore brand of it, or maybe his even own I was about to say refurbished, not refurbished. Maybe his own rendition of it. Or he just might have been making small mistakes within it and not knowing. But that was interesting. You also correctly pointed out that if anyone starts off a debate with, hey, do you mind if we use motor realism? You should probably be looking at them a little side-eye, like, what would prompt you to need to use this in any type of discussion about anime, number one. So it was all just very interesting. Check out John the Maven's channel. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'll be checking out more of his stuff. Hopefully I can, like last time, catch him live because it was very fun, very engaging. So I enjoyed that a lot. Ops everywhere, man. It's a whole situation. I'm trying to tell you, man, they was gatekeeping John the Maven content from Ab-Stract. I was like, damn. I pulled up, bro. I was like, Shinigami's in here, Luna Ursa's in here, Jackson in here. What's going on? Hold up. Why was I not invited to the cookout? What'd I do wrong? What'd I say? What are we doing here? So that was very funny. That was very funny. Oh, also, John, yes. So the durability stuff, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to either need to do a part 2 to that video, the durability of Naruto characters, because there are some things I either left out or just discovered even within Boruto, or didn't explain as well as I could have now that I have the knowledge that I have now about the subject and all that other stuff. So I have to do a part 2 to that video. The overall stance, I'll say this, the overall stance hasn't changed. And what I'm finding out is that a lot of people are confusing durability with endurance. Don't know how this is happening, but a lot of people are confusing durability with endurance. And I have a couple conversations I've had on Twitter and within my comments that we'll go over, maybe even today or another stream, that'll kind of show like, hold up. No. So, yeah, I don't know if I'll be making that. Yeah, I don't know if I'll be making it a full video or just exploring it on live. I feel like on live I can definitely get everything I need to say out better, but I feel like on stream, but I feel like if it's in a video, it'll be way more, well, number one, it'll be a video, so that's always fun. But yeah, it has its own advantages and disadvantages. But that's a conversation we will have to be having again. Naruto's durability, man, oh man. Bro, I saw John mentioning you, so I thought you knew each other, LOL. So yeah, no, like, I know John from, being in my stream, but I didn't know John was out here making content, bro. Nah, I didn't know that. I wish I knew. I would have loved to tune into those past ones. And John be making the right length videos. Those 2 hour, like 2 hours and beyond, for me is perfect. I love 2 hour plus videos because I get to lock in. I have very long drives. I work in Maryland, but I go to Virginia for work. So most of my drives are like an hour and a half plus sometimes. So I can just lock in and listen to some. Yeah, that's me. I like that. John says, real talk. Thank you so much for the support. You guys are the best. Hey, like I said, bro, I like to give the love back. If I know people are making content, I hope Rev comes out of retirement. I don't know what Rev is doing, but Rev was also supposed to be making a channel and making content too. I want to support him when he starts. So absolutely, bro. John, how was the Christian game? Is it fun at least? I modal on her realism till she power skills. That was kind of funny. That was kind of funny. I'm not gonna lie. That was kind of funny. I modal on her realism till she power skills. You could have turned that into an innuendo, but yeah. That was funny though. Okay, where are we at? It's just the ideology Sage wants to use so he doesn't get pushback on his stuff. Oh no, I completely understand it and I completely get it. I would definitely never agree to have a debate under those terms. Number one, because even after being in John's stream and getting a fundamental breakdown concept of motor realism, it's not something that I would want to like spar with in a debate setting. I feel like it's too many loopholes. I feel like it's way too wide of a range to where you can kind of manipulate things in your favor. I just wouldn't do it. I feel like I just wouldn't do it. I'm not going to go any further into that. Appreciated you stopping by and chilling. Yeah, motor realism is very unique perspective, LOL. Offshore brand is a great way to put it. Facts, bro. He was peddling his own, diet Timu version of it. It's cool. I'm not like I don't want to disparage anybody. Shout out to Sage, man. So yeah, a lot of people don't like Sage, right? But I said on Twitter, because I was watching his videos, right? Well, no, when we were doing the stream about the data books, and then I watched his Kimimaru video. What I said was this, and people they didn't get mad at me, but people were like, man, Sage, get him out of here. I was like this. I was like, yo, Sage is extremely thorough. He's an extremely thorough scaler. That doesn't mean he's the most accurate. That doesn't mean he's the best. That doesn't mean he's above anyone else. I'm looking at it from a information gathering and putting into context and presentation. He's extremely thorough. He knows where to look for things. He knows how things work within their dynamics and stuff like that. He's extremely thorough. I can give him that. So shout out to him for that. I like people who do their due diligence. Dokes meme moment with Ab-Stract. Oh yeah, surprise, motherfucker. Shinigami, it was fun. The game was a bit silly, but it felt sincere. They were trying to make a unique world, and I respect the effort. Nice. You use AI art? That's what, LOL. Happy to know that, John. Just hope it, Shinigami also says, just hope it helps make you have a closer relationship to God. That's what's up. John Maven says, yeah, the Dora stuff is really interesting topic. Happy to hear any more thoughts you want to share. It's helpful to hear your perspective for sure. Absolutely. Yeah. When like I said, it might be today, it might be another stream, but we're going to go over some conversations I've had about durability, and then I will put it in full perspective of where I'm at with it versus what I've seen, and then there may be a video to come. Because the most annoying thing about making videos is the actual not even the actual process, bro. It's like when you have all the information in your head and you know it, I feel like when I put it into a video, it's like, damn, I've been espousing these things, or I've been saying these things. I don't know if I want to use that word. I've been putting these things out there, and I'm hoping it's getting, taken in and traction, all this stuff. And now I got to do it again for a video. Sometimes that's like, man. That's how I felt about the Genjutsu video, honestly. It's like, yo, I've been saying all these things. I've been putting that out there, but fine. Here's the formal video about Genjutsu. We got Miller's Boo in the chat. One is the ability to take a punch with little damage. The other is to take a punch and keep pushing. Exactly so. And just like for a little thing, right? I'll give y'all something here. Someone told me that Naruto's shadow clones have less durability than himself because they get one tapped and go pop. I'm going to let you guys, I'm not even going to answer it. I'm not even going to address it. You guys think about that. Do Naruto's shadow clones have less durability? I want to see what you guys come up with. Because it's not what the person thought it was. And I had to explain that. And they didn't really address it either. But that's neither here nor there. Do Naruto's shadow clones have less durability than him? We're going to start the thing very soon. I'm just doing some housekeeping items, connecting with the chat. Dr. Scrangle says, power scalers like to use philosophy terms for their own intra-community concepts / standards instead of the actual meaning of the technical terms. I agree. And this is why, because it was another thing that was funny. When I was watching John the Maven stream, let me just say John. The Maven? John. When I was watching John stream, he was like, yeah, Sage now has rules of engagement before debates happen because people would be too ratty and stuff like that. In my head, that was like a no-brainer because, as I always say, scaling is extremely subjective. And if we're not coming to terms on too many particulars, we can't have a conversation because it'll be either here or there, right? We need to agree on a majority of things so we can have a conversation. So that was kind of like a note, like, huh? You're just going to debate people and not know what they use for references, not know what they cite as factual, so you can use databooks, but I don't use databooks, and we're supposed to have a debate? No, we have to get all that stuff straightened first. So yeah, no, rules of engagement absolutely have to be established, right? Philosophy terms for their own. Yeah. Yeah. So if we're going to be using philosophical terms and philosophical ideology, number one, that's probably too, I like philosophy, don't get me wrong, but I feel like if it's being used in power scaling, I should say. Power scaling. Maybe not anime debates in general, but if it's being used in power scaling, I would proceed with extreme caution because at that point, philosophy is too subjective and it can be argued either way. It's not really fun. I like facts, evidence, and things we can actually prove or not prove, But yeah. Oh, damn, that's a big, long commute. That's what I'm saying, bro. So, 2-hour videos be the joint for me. B-Zook. What's good, B-Zook, a.k.a. Android 17. I like the PFP. You got yourself a good PFP. Who is that? Kisuke. Let's go. I know this, bro. I know this. I take note. I know what I'm doing, bro. Shout out to B-Zook. We got Android 17, a.k.a. B-Zook in the building. Fuck with you. Gotta make my own video soon. Shinigami, you do have to make your own video. And I need you to do long form video stuff, Shinigami. I think you've done shorts or you've talked about doing shorts. I need you to do long form videos. At least 8 minutes. 8 minutes pass. It's going to be me yapping because I have lots to say. Of course. John the Maven says, to give him credit, he makes well-edited videos and presents novel arguments. My objection is that he focuses on clearing points at the expense of facts, accuracy, and genuine understanding. I agree with that. And for me, it's that, like, I think people focus too much on, I want my character to be the strongest. This character is the strongest, so I'm going to find things and put things out there that make that reality, or make that a reality, right? Whereas, I want to say at least most people within the AAAP scaling community, at least I want to say most people, I can't speak for everybody, but I know a lot of us approach this with an objective view, right? I don't really care if someone is the strongest, right? If I, like, for example, and I've said this before too, if I know a series is stronger than Bleach, I'm not going to talk about them. They can have it. I don't bring in Dragon Ball at all. Y'all do, like the chat does. I don't really bring in Dragon Ball. I know they're stronger. I don't bring in Anos Del Hevia. He's strong. Like, only Yuha maybe is like fighting with him. I don't bring in light novel Rimuru. He's too strong. I'm not doing that. I'm not bringing in the one above all. Like, why would I do that? So, like, approach things from an objective standpoint and argue what can be argued. Don't argue for everything in the highest interpretation. That's not genuine. That's not real, bro. I don't fuck with that. All right. Did you read my databook post on my website? Not yet. Not yet. That might be covered on stream, though, Dr. Stringle. That's what I'm saying. Might cover that on stream. Gotta do morning errands, so I might stop chatting, but I'm excited to hear your takes on the debate. I'll be here lurking. Got you, bro. Got you. We're about to get started, too. Dr. Strangle says, less endurance. Less endurance. Yeah, actually, so the way I explained it to the young man, and I assume most people I interact with are young just because of how they interact with me. I can usually tell who is of a certain age and, what's the word? Prestige, I want to say, maybe. I can usually tell who's of a certain age and... That was just rude. I can usually tell, though, who's of a certain age and who's kind of like newer or just got 18 years older, just by how they argue and just by how they talk. Older people normally don't argue and talk the way these younger kids do, so I can kind of see that. What was that question, though? You said less endurance. Yes, in a way, it's less endurance. So, because he was equating chakra amount to durability. That's what he was equating, right? So he said, oh, well, Naruto shadow clones have less chakra than Naruto, so that's why they're able to be one-tapped. And so I have to break down to him that, well, no, Naruto shadow clones don't really display less durability. They have a lower threshold before they, I guess we can say endurance, right? They have a lower endurance, or they demonstrate a lower threshold before they're destroyed. Their durability doesn't change relative to Naruto's just because he's making them. That is to say, when Naruto makes a shadow clone, he does not now have more durability than his shadow clone. The same things that can hurt the same things that can hurt the Naruto shadow clone can in fact hurt Naruto as well. All the attacks that make them go pop hurt him, and all the attacks that hurt him, the shadow clone, can hurt the real Naruto. So we had to go over that, and it's like, no, bro, no. That if you're gonna prove chakra amount durability, shadow clones are not the way to go. First off, we're also dealing with something that is a creation from chakra, right? You could argue the flesh and blood component, but I would probably say no to that. Like, as an all-around thing, I wouldn't say yes to that. Okay, we about to get started here. I don't even remember where these guys left off, so we're all going to be very new into this. I'm going to read a few more, then keep going. I mean, they pop in one hit, so what is it? Oh my God, ads again. 2 ads as well. Hey man, you got to fight through it, bro. Fight through it. Well, I've recorded one about female character design and media. Okay. Technically, the clones do and don't have less durability. While they're a phasmizzle of Naruto, they can be strengthened by the amount of chakra pours into them. We see them a few times take fatal hits. So here's what someone actually defined durability already. Let me use their definition real quick. Let me use their definition. I think it was Dr. Strangle. Where was it? Okay, I can't find it. Okay, anyways. How I like to define durability is actually how did I define it? Let me be accurate actually. What I say something about the least adverse effects. Okay. So yeah, when we say durability, we're talking about the amount of force or pressure one can withstand while showing the least adverse effects to it, right? That's extremely straightforward. It's extremely comprehensive. Everyone should know what I'm talking about when I say that definition. Durability is the amount of force or pressure one can withstand while showing or demonstrating the least adverse effects to it. Let's go over some examples. I just watched Aquaman versus Black Manta Ray, right? Black Manta Ray tried to stab Aquaman with his sword, and Aquaman just literally stood there and tanked it. That is not a display of endurance. That is a display of durability. When Naruto gets stabbed by Sasuke's sword when Shin is using his Mangekyo Sharingan, that is not a display of durability. That is a display of endurance. Now, you have to kind of sift and categorize these how I'm talking about them in the moment, right? This isn't to say Naruto doesn't have durability. What I'm saying, though, is based off of that definition, the ability to, showing the least adverse effects to pressure or force, we would say since the sword pierced Naruto clean through, he in fact showed the most. I'm sorry. Yeah, no, he showed that he didn't display the least, right? Because the sword clearly went through him and pierced him. This doesn't say he doesn't have durability, but the durability he just showed was way less. As opposed to him actually surviving and enduring the sword, right? It's not like the sword one-tapped him. For example, when Boruto gets Biju Bomb sniped by Jorah, that was a pretty bad case of durability and endurance. Not only did the blast go straight through his, stomach section, but he was knocked out by it. That was a bad display of durability and endurance. So I wouldn't say his clones display either or. I'm sorry, not either or. I wouldn't say him using clones, because right, you said technically the clones do and don't have less durability. While they're facsimile. That was facsimile. I don't know why I read that as facsimile. While they're facsimiles of Naruto, they can be strengthened by the amount. Right. So they're strengthened by the amount of chakra part. All that's really doing is giving them a bigger endurance pool, not a bigger durability pool. Like I said, they still get hurt by the same things. If someone punches a Naruto clone, Naruto will be hurt the same way that clone was hurt. All that's happening is the chakra gives them more endurance. We got tomfoolery in the chat. What's good, Brody? Just need to record myself playing Bayonetta. This is the same problem with low-key Vanki. With Ki Von Ki. Okay, gotcha. On average, though, they have similar durability to the average shinobi unless you get into this transformation that can actually amp his physical durability and stamina. Right. That's why Ab-Stract doesn't bring in New as Exorcist. They're too strong for Bleach. Talk that shit, Karibo. That's hilarious. How old do you think I am, Ab-Stract? Oof. I think you're around my age, bro. I think you're like... Well, actually, no. From our conversations... I would say you're anywhere between 28 to 31, Shinigami. 27 to 31. 27 to 31. I'll give you that range. If I remember correctly, 34th databook entry on wood clones calls out they're more durable than shadow clones that pop after one hit or something. Okay, that's interesting. But then again, when you look at the wood clones, that kind of makes sense because the elemental fact. So the shadow clones are being created by what exactly? Like, yes, pure chakra, and you could argue the wood clones are also being created by pure chakra. But I guess the elemental factor matters. The wood clones are actually made of wood style ninjutsu. So that, hold up, give me 1 second. Excuse me. Yeah. I could see wood clone. I could see them being more durable. Well, durable. See, the question is, are they taking? So are they like? Because we have to understand this is in relation to something else. So are we saying they're just more durable than shadow clones? And by that I mean if we're putting 50% of chakra into a shadow clone, right? And that can get the shadow clone's endurance high, but then we put 50% of chakra into a wood clone. The same person, by the way. Let's do this. Let's say Hashirama uses a shadow clone and a wood clone. He gives them both 50% chakra. Are we then saying that the shadow clone's 50% would be like a percentage wise less than the durability or the endurance of the wood clone? Because I think that would make more sense to me, right? If you're giving them both 50%, but on an actual percentage basis, the wood clone's endurance or durability, I don't know about that, but still, let's say durability would be higher than the shadow clones. I hope that made sense too. All right, shadow clones vary in durability. I wouldn't say that. They vary in endurance. Everything that can hurt any... so for a claim like that, Karibo, you'd have to show me a shadow clone tanking, surviving, or showing less adverse effects. Or showing, less adverse effects through the same attack as another shadow clone. Less adverse effects. I'm not talking about it having higher endurance. Remember, endurance is not durability. Durability is not endurance. Durability is the ability to survive AP, to overcome AP. That's another way of saying the least adverse effects, by the way, too, because AP goes against durability. Yo, how we doing? What's good, Rex? How you doing, bro? We just about to get started with this Noodles versus Swagkage thing. Oh, I 100% know. It's why I said on average the clone has durability like an average ninja. Okay, gotcha. As you can reinforce the outer body with chakra, and sometimes clone Naruto does that. Okay, so Milas Boo, or well, first off, before I decide to call you Boo, are you a female or a male? Because I like to give people short-handed nicknames. So I don't mind calling you Boo, although my wife might have a problem with that. But I need to know, are you a female or a male? Because I'll just call you Mills if you're a guy. But I can call you Boo. I don't mind, right? So yeah, while you're answering that, I want to address what you just said about the clones and people being stated to reinforce their bodies with chakra. Well, no, I'll address that later. I'll just say this, right? For now, I disagree with the notion that the body reinforcement technique in Naruto is something that actually exists within Naruto. You'd be hard pressed to find any evidence of a body enhancement technique outside of specific ninjutsu, senjutsu, and biju cloaks. You would be hard pressed. And I go into this in more depth in the Naruto durability video. But like I said, I'll have to be revamping that video to add certain conversations like this argument that you're putting forth right now about reinforcing the body with chakra. Yeah. So I'll just leave it as, oh, you're 24. Oh, wow. Oh my God, that old? I'm going off the fact that you're in a relationship. I'm going off the fact that you're pretty put together for your age. If you're 24, that surprises me. I thought you were like 27. I thought you were like 27, bro. Okay, cool. 24. Good for you. Yuichi Katagiri, Boruto, and endurance. I don't know who that is though. Jiraiya losing an arm to Ashura equals durability, anti-feat, but ability to keep fighting equals survivability / endurance. There you go. There you go. Chad, I'm not an onk. We got an onk here, yo. Bro, Ab-Stract is the onk. I don't mind though. I accept it. We got Raggedy Red 1. I like that. Raggedy Red 1. What is your PFP? Is that a Power Ranger, Raggedy Red? Is that a Power Ranger? Mid-20s is Unk status now. Damn, man. Yeah, ain't that crazy? Mid-20s, bro. Yeah, the wood clones are stated to be stronger as they're not made with just regular chakra, but wood style and I believe yang style. Okay. So we have to actually contextualize that. Are you saying the wood clones are stronger than Hashiram himself? I don't think you'd be saying that. So you'd have to be saying the wood clones on average are stronger than any other type of cloning jutsu, which would really mean they're not getting any more durable by being wood clones, right? They're not getting more because we have to keep up. Because in my mind, I'm thinking you guys don't know, but maybe you do. They're not getting any more durable, as that is to say, they're not getting stronger than their host by being wood clones. They're just stronger than every other type of clone. I hope that makes sense, bro, because it sounds like it might be contradictory. But I hope it makes sense. Okay. Will you be my boo? Hey, yo, chill. Man, I'm using my late mom's account. Okay. Gotcha. My condolences. All right, Mills. Cool. Mills it will be then. Noodles arguing that all the parts of Naruto that support Swag's argument is drawing mistake. Fellow unks represent facts. Let's go, John. Let's go. Rest in peace to your mom. Yes. All right. Chains of Scarlet is in the building. What's good? Now we just need Scarlet Majin in here and then we'll have a party. The chakra amp is a thing, but outside of specific cases, it doesn't increase the body's durability. Of course, chakra amping is a thing. I'll never say that ninja can't use chakra to amp strength, speed, jumping power, etc., right? But I don't believe this necessitates, like, for people will be like, oh, Sakura is able to punch large rocks and she's not breaking her fists. Newton's third law, AP equals durability. I don't believe that. I believe that these two things can be mutually exclusive. I do not believe that by amping strength, one necessarily always amps durability. I believe, it is my belief, that these things have to be shown forth and proven, or else we get things like, Sakura's universal, Kage is this, Madara is planetary, because this is chakra amount, and they're using their chakra to amp their stats, and all this other stuff. Don't worry, we'll break it down once I review some of these conversations I have. That whole boo segment reminded me of Dilemma by Nelly. Oh my God, ads again. I'm about to commit a crime, I swear. All right, for the next stream, we won't do any ads, right? I promise, no ads, fine. But okay, cool. Let's go back about 2 minutes and see where we are in this conversation. Let me get my notes up so I can continue to follow. All right. Okay. Just so far, though, we have Noodles saying that Amaterasu would incinerate all the pains. The note I wrote here is AP is questionable, right? Because he said Amaterasu is the strongest physical jutsu. Then we had the question as far as like strongest in what way exactly? Like, are we just talking about the strongest physical jutsu that exists in the series? Strongest physical jutsu that Itachi has? What are you talking about? Right? Most powerful physical attack for who? We had Swagkage yielding to the fact that Amaterasu would in fact incinerate all the pains if it hit. A weird thing to yield to, in my opinion, given Amaterasu's showings. Noodle says Itachi's eye, or what did I write here? Itachi's plan. Oh yeah, okay. His plan was if the eye focuses, that equals Amaterasu. So then that breeds the argument of, well, okay, cool. If you can get Itachi to not focus on something, well, how will that hinder Amaterasu? If you can get him to not focus, if you can obscure his vision, right? If you can put up shields and things that are not yourself, how will that affect it? Swag says Amaterasu is dodgeable. Noodle says all the pains are the same speed when they're all 6 up. that was a fun ride. If all the pains are the same speed when they're all 6 up. And see, the thing is, like, he was really harping on this Konohamaru thing of him dodging one of the passive pain. But you cannot take a single instance of a movement and say, hey, this is the blanket speed of all of them just because this character happened to dodge a kick. Because this now calls into question Jiraiya. It implicates Kakashi. It implicates Tendo and anyone else stronger than Konohamaru that they fought. The other argument that Noodles made was that the Rasen doesn't scale to Sage Naruto in speed. Now, this was a pretty... Like, you can't tell people what to argue, but at some points it's just like, bro, why are we arguing this? Right? If on average, most things that we throw are faster than our bodily movement, and if Naruto did, in fact, think that he was so much slower than his Rasenshuriken, why wouldn't he just run up and hit him with it, if that is what he did think? So, arguing subjective, not even subjective, some of this is just common sense in my opinion, but the fact that it needs to be proven within a debate is a little taxing. It's tedious. I don't think it's the most productive use of our time, honestly. So, but that's what Noodles was arguing, that the Rasen doesn't scale to him in speed. I thought Swag had the better... Well, number one, I just agree with Swag, so it's harder for me to not say he doesn't have the better argumentation within this particular conversation, right? Because I can agree with someone and still think, well, I mean, I still think he's wrong in how he's represented it. But no, I think Swag had the better argument, and I think his argument was more true. Last thing, Naruto thinks he can hit pain by... Oh, yeah, okay, so that's still part of the Rasenshuriken thing. Cool. All right, let's go back a minute and get started. Okay... All right. Okay, hold up, real quick. Dr. Strangle says, I looked on my website, and I defined durability as the largest amount of joules per centimeter cube a thing can take before it's deformed or damaged. I would be in agreement. I would be in agreement with that. I would be in agreement with that. Yeah, I think I would be in agreement with that. Because Vector Syntax, in our Discord, he talks a lot about deformation and things like that as well. So that makes sense. Have you ever talked with other Bleach content creators like DBZ Imran, Mr. Tomo, or Aizen's World? So far, the only other Bleach content creator that I've talked to and have a relationship with is Shonen Cone. DBZ Imran and myself, I don't know how good of a conversation we could have. Honestly, I like his content. I don't know how good of a conversation we could have. Mr. Tomo. Mr. Tomo, you gotta let Mr. Tomo do Mr. Tomo. I wouldn't even want to participate in a Mr. Tomo discussion. Not that like he's better than me or anything like that, or I'm better than him. I just think his lane is so his lane that like it would have to be. Actually, no, we could have a conversation. It would just have to strictly be about like the story and stuff like that, though. I don't know if we could get into power scaling and all that other stuff, but it would still be dope. Actually, I changed my mind about that. Aizen's World. So Aizen's World manifested fervor, and there's one more. Myself, Shonen Aizen's World, Manifested Favor. There's like one more Bleach guy that I think I'm forgetting. Not Rebirth. Me and Rebirth would probably have a dope ass live actually, because Rebirth is really like Rebirth. He started the Kubology. He's really deep into Kubology. In my opinion, I'm really deep into Kubology. I think we'd have a dope conversation. Plus, he's another black creator, so that's dope too. I like that. No problem with that. It'd just be nice to know the question. Right. We got Sasuke solos in the chat. In Naruto/Boruto, their bodies have to be comparable to withstand chakra amount. Otherwise, their body will crack, break down, pop like a balloon, or even go insane, lose their minds. So yeah, Sasuke solos. I'm going to cover all this stuff when I either make my video or do my live on this stuff because that's just not true. I'm sorry. It's just not true. It's just not true. But let's get started with this video right here. Let's go back about a minute. We're at 1:15, so we can go. We'll do like 3 minutes just so we can hear them talk. Oh wow! Now I'm getting an ad. Okay. Very interesting. I can't hear anything. All right. Very interesting. I can't hear a thing. Give me a second, y'all. What is going on here, bro? Okay. Okay, that's working. Okay. Are we like lagging? What's going on here? Okay, let me see. My shit is moving slow, bro. What is happening? He said, feel my pain, abstract of ads. That's hilarious. Okay, I'm just going to delete this one because it's being disagreeable. Let me screenshot what Sasuke Solus just said, actually, because that's going to be very important in our conversation. Scarlett Johnson is, I'm sorry, Chains of Scarlet is exactly, why did I get Scarlett Johnson? That's a crazy. Yeah, Chains of Scarlet is exactly correct. And I've argued this before too. Amaterasu does not spawn on you. If it spawned on you, there would be no dodging it. It would be like Lele's x-axis. You cannot dodge something that spawns on you. It would defeat the purpose of it being said it spawns on you. If it spawns on you, you're already hit. There's no dodging. So he's absolutely correct on that. I'm lagging. My connection is terrible. Something is going on. I don't like this. Okay. Okay, cool. We got sound.
He did throw it. And yeah, that's basically the point.
How's the sound for you guys? How's the sound?
Of Naruto.
Little louder, little lower. How we doing?
For getting extremely important details mid-combat, and I equivocated them to this situation because he's not fighting optimally here, and he doesn't fight optimally elsewhere. Go ahead, Swag.
So, my conclusion is that even the point that I've been this stuff to Noodles, right? That jutsu aren't necessarily inherently as fast as the person casting them, like say the fireball jutsu, for example. That doesn't change the fact that for Naruto to throw the Rasenshuriken, there has to be some kind of tremendous upside here, and Noodles hasn't been able to demonstrate a single reason why doing it is better than running up and throwing, like just fucking punching pain in the face with it. Because, as I demonstrated earlier with the databook, when he used it on Kakazu, there was the problem of recoil damage, but the databook straight up says that after training and mastering Sage Mode, this weakness no longer exists because of Naruto's tough body. Not even because throwing it eliminates it, but just because his body is so tough that if he uses it in close quarters, there's no damage that's going to come to Naruto. So I asked Noodles to give me one good reason why using it as a ranged attack would be better or preferable to using it as a melee attack, and Noodles did not give me one. So I am going to stand by the claim that the Rasenshuriken is as fast as Sage Naruto, or faster than if he's throwing it. Also, he throws it with his hand, so it should scale to him physically.
Yeah. Oh, damn.
And that is the end of conclusion.
Can I respond to the throw thing real quick?
No, because we talked about it before.
I know, but
and you didn't
I don't
say
want to just
anything.
give
No, we
just for the sake of
concluded.
burden of rejoinder. Just let me respond to that
Okay,
little
fine.
point.
Yeah,
Okay.
you can respond to it, and then we gotta move on.
The truth-seeking orbs are also can be just thrown and manipulated and hit with, like, and that's still don't think they scale. You know?
Does
what I mean?
anybody throw it like with their fucking hand? I don't think so.
Let me think of another one then.
That is a good point.
Noodles. I don't know if you remember.
Either way,
that.
it's
You
fine.
did
It's fine.
No, Chains of Scarlet. You are Chains of Scarlet. I made a mistake. I was thinking of Scarlet Majin, but Majin Johnson. I don't know how that came about, but no, you are Chains of Scarlet. Don't go changing your name. I got it. All right.
It's fine. Yeah, we can move on.
Yeah.
Here, I'll tell you in a minute. Giovanni. Get back over there, Giovanni. Yeah. So that's the Amaterasu point, I suppose. If you want to move on to a pain ability, that's fine. Do you want to do that? You want to talk about Baku
I
Tensei?
guess I'll talk about Shinra Tensei first. So, do you agree with the databook categorization that it just nullifies ninjutsu? So,
yeah, it repels ninjutsu, right?
It like straight up destroys them. I can give
There's
so
an
Six.
example
Do you
of
have the Six? Do you
I know
have
what it
the
is.
scan first
have
from
it.
the databook, and second? Okay, yeah.
want
If you
it?
could post the scan, and then I'll also give you an example as well.
Oh shit, I forgot to save it. My bad. Go ahead and get it, Six. I thought I had it. I literally went to my data book section. It's not there.
So I'm just thinking about how he could be using this preemptively, right? He said, would you agree that Shinra Tensei, the databook statement, Shinra Tensei nullifies all ninjutsu, right? Noodles is funny because he acts like he doesn't know it says that. He says, well, yeah, it can block out or stop. He didn't want to use the word nullify, but it says nullify, and they both use databook. So he has no choice but to, well, I mean, he might have a choice, but he should be more so agreeing with the databook interpretation if he also uses the databook. So Shinra Tensei nullifies ninjutsu. I'm so curious as to how he's going to be using this. Is he going to be saying Shinra Tensei can nullify the Totsuka Blade? Is the Totsuka Blade a ninjutsu? That's a good question. Or is it a weapon? Not that I'm saying it wouldn't be able to nullify it either way, but it kind of just like would it dissipate it if it got hit with the Shinra Tensei? Is he saying that the Shinra Tensei, if it hit the Susanoo would just start peeling off because it nullifies it, right? And then we have to look at the word nullify. We have to look at how it would be being defined within the proper context, because nullify can mean erase, it can mean to cancel out, it can mean to come to a halt or to a stop. So we know the TSOs nullify ninjutsu, but when we see them nullify things, we actually see the results of them getting rid of those things, right? When we see Pain use his Shinra Tensei on Kakashi's lightning thing, it's like, oh well, it stopped it, but did it nullify it or did it just cancel it out? So I'm curious to see how Swag uses this.
So go ahead and get it.
I sent it in there. If we need to, we can get the raws, have them translate it.
All right, we shouldn't. Most of these are all right, but Invisible Hand of God, which repels anything in creation. It couldn't repel Six Tails Naruto, though. David Path uses this jutsu using repulsive gravitational force generating the user's hands to repel targets. The number of targets or size do not interfere with the repulsive ability of the jutsu. In addition, by stopping using the other paths and concentrating the chakra only for jutsu, the strength and area of affected can be greatly increased. Talking about the Shinra Tensei, or the chaotic Shinra Tensei.
Yeah.
With an attack of this power, Konoha was completely turned to ashes. However, after jutsu has been activated, there's an interval of 5 seconds for which the jutsu cannot be used again. Yeah, we saw that during the Pain and Sage Naruto fight. The repulsive force generated by the gravitational forces of the targets collide with obstacles, increasing the damage of the jutsu's initial shockwave. Only those who can manipulate all chakra natures possessing the legendary Rinnegan are allowed to own this jutsu, which has every right to be called perfect as a diamond.
Real quick, just some housekeeping items. Again, we got Grid in the chat. How you doing, Grid? Shout out to you. What's good, bro? Secondly, Sasuke Solo says, anytime you want to hop in voice chat and discuss anything, you know where to find me. Sasuke Solos, you were supposed to be doing a debunk video to my Genjutsu video. I said, put that video out there, let me analyze it, then we can go over the particulars where we disagree, and then we can have a conversation. I'm still waiting on that. If you would like to have this Naruto body chakra reinforcement durability, we can do that. I don't mind. I don't even want to say not today. We could probably get it popping today. I just have some things that I'm doing. So maybe later today, depending on how free you are. But yeah, we'll see.
repulsive force is so strong that ninjutsu and taijutsu are equally ineffective against this jutsu within an unexpected. Yeah, it just says that ninjutsu and taijutsu become ineffective because it propels them, right?
Okay, cool. So that debunks the nullify claim, which means I have to take that out of my notes. This is my fault because I thought Swag was actually quoting the data book. I think he threw the word nullify in there. I don't think that's what it suggests. Like, I don't think it's on the level of a TSO.
So there is an example here. Six, do you have? I have this one. Do you have the scan of the page afterward where there's no crater? So he like destroys the earth wall, and you can see the Chidori or the Raikage getting ripped off of Kakashi's hand there, and then there's like no crater. So it's just a ninjutsu nullification.
It's not. It's still on his hand.
It's getting like pulled off.
It could just be out in front of him.
Wait, what?
Like it could just be like
you can see,
the jutsu can just extend out in front of him.
No, but you can see it's getting like kind of wiped away, bro.
It's just kind of
like
maybe at best it's getting stretched a little bit. It's not being ripped.
It's not getting stretched a little bit. You can see it's like kind of like stretched out, like past his hand and shit.
That happens every time he uses the Chidori. It's always above.
No, it's not.
It's like a crazy
in the
aura
no, you can see in the panel above it. It's not stretched out past his hand to that extent.
Well, I'm saying it could stretch it a little bit. Like, yeah, obviously it's not to that extent, but what is that, like another hand distance?
Okay, well,
maybe?
even if I grant that we might not even have to go through, but look, you can see there's like rubble and shit all around, but there's no crater in the ground, so it's just ninjutsu nullification.
It creates craters.
No, look, there's no crater.
Wait, what? So Swag is arguing because there's no visible crater that it's only affecting ninjutsu. Just a quick question. Does he think Kakashi created that wall with chakra? Like, does he think the entire thing was created with chakra? Because I swear to God, when Kakashi dodges, he does hand signs and hits the ground, right? So Kakashi is manipulating existing Earth. He's manipulating existing Earth, right? He doesn't think he might think this whole thing is made of chakra. That's probably what it is. Yeah, no, this is how I would counter that. No, the entire thing is not, like, his chakra manipulated into that form. It manipulated it into that form, but the rock is in fact rock. Maybe you could argue it's being reinforced with his chakra, but it still would not be a chakra construct either. So what we should have seen if it only affects chakra was half destruction or maybe even partial destruction, but no, he completely blows away the entire thing, as well as Kakashi. And Kakashi himself isn't ninjutsu, so why would he get blown back? A lot of things here wouldn't make sense if we're saying the ground must be affected. Kakashi isn't ninjutsu. He should not have been affected. In fact, the only thing that should have been affected was Kakashi's hand if we're arguing that it only repels ninjutsu and that it didn't affect the ground. And, you know.
There's no crater.
We've seen
below
it create craters.
Yeah, he can if he wants it to. He can if he wants it to, but he doesn't.
And then you could just argue he's only doing it within the radius that is directly in front of him and directly in back of him. He's not really focusing on the ground. Why would he need to focus on the ground?
Necessarily have to.
I don't see any crater because there's smoke on the ground.
No, there's no smoke on the ground. Look at the scan that Six just sent.
Oh, it's Six in another one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose there's not. Maybe he's just not directing the gravity wave towards the ground, though. He's just directing it like upwards towards Kakashi's path of trajectory, though. So that's why it's not creating a crater.
He blows up like the whole Earth wall.
I know, but that doesn't
like
have to
from
be
the bottom. From the bottom.
Where does it?
It's collapsing down. Look, you can see it's broken from the base and the other fucking.
We've seen in other instances though that it does create craters.
Yeah, he can if he wants him to, but the point is that I mean, regardless though, I think that I don't even think
I just forgot to draw the crater, bro.
No, come on, bro. Kishimoto's smarter.
Come on about that, is it?
John the Maven said this would happen. Kishimoto and his inconsistencies. That's hilarious. Kishimoto forgot to draw the crater. There are better ways to argue this point. I would like artist mistake. Don't get me wrong. You can argue for inconsistencies once inconsistencies actually start to show and pop up. The thing is, we haven't seen any creators that say this will be inconsistent yet. These all come after the first one, right? These all come after. So no, I wouldn't. That's a funny argument, but no.
It's definitely possible.
That's funny as fuck. So maybe I'll grant it to you just because
Yeah.
it's funny. But
What if you just
no.
forgot? You know what I mean?
No. But I don't even think I have to keep arguing with this because so you like Zetsu
I don't think-
says that
I'll tell you this.
Amaterasu is called like the at least the strongest jutsu Itachi has by Zetsu, right? Because he says it's like the
There's a couple
strongest.
conflicting statements about it.
But okay.
Conflicting
just-
statements. Noodles, you argued it. He's a pancake. He argues Amaterasu is the strongest physical attack. Swag says it, and now he's trying to go against it. What's wrong with this guy?
Said at the beginning of the debate that it's the strongest physical.
It is. I agree, and you agreed that it would hurt pain too. What I'm saying is, there's another statement about another Itachi jutsu that's considered the trump card and strongest jutsu, or ocular jutsu in general. The Susanoo stated that too. So there's just a little bit of conflict there, but it's just because they're like the Amaterasu
Noodles
is
funny,
effective throughout the entire series, even in Boruto. Like Sasuke is still using the Amaterasu against like Jigen and
To be
Ishii.
fair, Amaterasu.
You know what
Every ninja is still using kunai throughout the Boruto and Naruto. I'm sorry. Every ninja is still using basic ninjutsu. I'm sorry. What do we mean? It's okay.
It's be getting stronger with Sasuke there.
It could, but that's what I'm saying.
The
It like
point
scales.
that I am getting at is that we see Nagato reflected with Shinra Tensei, so Shinra Tensei should stop Amaterasu here in this case, right?
Maybe if he's fast.
I'm so So this is only a problem. This is only a problem because Swag already agreed a couple hours ago that if Amaterasu hits a path of pain, they will die. So now he has to argue that Shinra Tensei will stop it from hitting him. When he could have just argued that even if he gets hit, he can repel it off of him. Because we've seen the burn time of Amaterasu, and that was a Nagato that was not in control of his faculties. So he couldn't decide to get it off him in a timely manner. If Nagato gets hit with Amaterasu, if Tendo Pain gets hit with Amaterasu, which is Nagato, right? If Tendo Pain gets hit with Amaterasu, he's just going to push it off of him. See, Swag should not have agreed to that in the very beginning. I said this, bro.
Enough to push it off of him, but I don't think he was fast enough earlier. We
But
already got past
what I'm
Amaterasu,
saying,
See, man, that's what I'm saying, bro. Like, why would he agree to that? Let me go back to this. Let me write this down because this is why he's bringing this whole thing up anyway. Okay, so Swag Shinra Tensei nullifies ninjutsu. We kind of cleared that up. Wouldn't nullify, right? Swag Shinra Tensei only affects ninjutsu again, and Swag believes. Shinra Tensei can stop Amaterasu before it hits him. And the reason I'm saying before it hits him is because he already conceded that if he gets hit, he'll be incinerated. Not my claim, that's Swag's.
it is if the jutsu makes contact with Amaterasu, it fizzles, right?
We saw
Like,
that. We saw that it can push it off. Like we know that it can push the flames off of him. What I'm saying though is like he couldn't do that in time. But we already talked about that earlier. You tried the speed scaling, yada yada yada, whatever. Anyway, what I'll say is that we know that it doesn't just like blow.
Yes, I can, John. Give me 1 second, because I wasn't too sure which volume thing I used last time, because my settings don't always save correctly. So we'll go to the lower version. We'll turn this one on and turn this one off. Okay.
Off chakra cloaks and stuff because it didn't do that to Six Tails Naruto. It didn't like he actually like he tried to use it against Six
That's
Tails
not a
Naruto, like a
ninjutsu.
big
That's
one
not
too.
a ninjutsu. That's not.
Wait, you said I don't think that's what Swag agreed to though. I'm pretty sure he agreed it would hurt. Are you talking about the Amaterasu grid? What part are you talking about in particular? Because in my notes I have that Swag agreed that if the Amaterasu hits, it would incinerate all paths of pain if it hits. And what he's doing now is he's saying, well, if Pain has Shinra Tensei up, Amaterasu won't hit. At least that's what I believe is being argued from this exchange. Because he's already agreed if they get hit, they're going to be incinerated. And then the whole argument about the time it took to push it off, right? But he didn't argue what I would have argued, so. Where is... Okay, yeah. We got Illusionary in the chat. What's good, bro? How you doing? Sasuke is still using the Amaterasu to absolutely zero results. Exactly. Okay.
It has the same composition as a ninjutsu.
What? Why?
It's chakra based. It's like a lightning
Send
cloak.
me the databook statement that shows.
It doesn't need to
Six
be.
Tails.
I just created a $47 ebook in 3 minutes flat using AI. Time me while I do it again. Already in Designer.
Cloak or version 2 as a ninjutsu, and I
It doesn't need to
this.
be. It just.
All right, so what is this? Someone tell me what this would be. Is this a category fallacy? Is this a name fallacy? What is this? So Noodles is correct in saying that just because it's called a jutsu doesn't necessarily make it different from chakra being molded, formed, and expressed, and then expelled from the body. Because that's what's happening here. You can call anything a jutsu, by the way. You can call anything a jutsu. So it wouldn't necessarily have to be called a jutsu for a technique not to work on it, right? So I agree with Noodles in this case.
Made of the same thing that jutsu is.
It's not a ninjutsu.
It's made of the same thing ninjutsu is. It's like saying a pizza's not a pasta, big dog.
I mean, a pizza isn't just a pasta, so I wouldn't agree with that. But
No,
I get the
it's
sentiment.
not.
It is because
No,
you're
it's
basically saying, well, it's not classified as a ninjutsu, so therefore it's not, right? Like, no, it has fucking chakra in it.
Well,
It's making
pizza
a
would
cloak,
be
just
classified
like the
as a
lightning
pasta.
cloak. It's yeah. Oh, dude. For one, what if they just didn't say that?
And then you can argue you can argue every ninjutsu that does not come from a dojutsu or a shinjutsu. You can argue it's actually made up. You can argue that. In fact, you can even argue the shinjutsu are actually made up, right? They're divine miracles and things, but the actual naming of them, that comes from the person's fucking mind. The Sharingan-based ninjutsu, that comes directly from the Sharingan, and the people are implanted with the knowledge of what it is and how to use it. We actually saw this with Sarada. Sasuke said, your Mangekyo Sharingan has awakened. You'll soon come to know its abilities and what it can do. That tells us that Sarada is not creating this. This is pre-encoded genes within her eye that already have a specific set of abilities and names. Ninjutsu as a whole is actually made the fuck up. Yes, it is. Ninjutsu was made up. Every jutsu you can think of a name that came from someone's brain and they made it up. So no, Noodles, let me write this down too. Noodles is exactly correct in this point. The fact that it's chakra based being expelled from the body, it works just like the rotation jutsu, which is just expelling raw chakra. It works just like A's lightning cloak. Well, it works similar to A's lightning cloak. We actually don't know what's going on with A's lightning cloak and how he achieves that, but it works similar to A's lightning cloak. Swag says, if it's not classified as a ninjutsu, it's not a ninjutsu. Yeah, we understand that the Rasengan is just swirling chakra externalized, right? That should, by all rights and means, it should not be a jutsu, but it is a jutsu. Oh, Ab-Stract, the Rasengan is an incomplete jutsu because it doesn't have nature, but it's a jutsu nonetheless. So don't play games with me.
Like, what if they just didn't say that pizza was a pasta?
Then
What if
pizza
they just
wouldn't be a pasta. Then pizza wouldn't be a pasta.
Oh my gosh, this is such a terrible argument, dude.
No, it's not a terrible
It is. I'll
argument.
explain why. That's like saying if someone forgot to categorize something in one way, that means it's just absolutely
Then they
not.
would
Even if it's composed of every, even if it's composed of necessary.
Then they would realize they forgot to categorize it, and they would categorize it that way. But it's not
they just wouldn't
categorized
care.
as an ninjutsu. No, it's not
It doesn't-
categorized.
it doesn't ha- it doesn't have
It's
to
not
be-
categorized as a
Stop,
ninjutsu,
Swag,
so it's not a
stop,
ninjutsu.
Oh my gosh, bro.
It's like
it's
calling
literally,
Ryoken a
it's literally a.
transformation. It's not a transformation.
Is that not a chakra cloak?
It can be a chakra cloak and not be a ninjutsu. Those aren't like.
A ninjutsu is like a
mutually
technique, right? So a ninjutsu is like a technique that they're using. I don't think the Nine Tails cloak really fits the idea of a technique. It's just something that happens when you get too much Nine Tails chakra. It's not like a jutsu.
Yeah, it's
and the
not a
fact that you're
ninjutsu,
intentionally
exactly.
trying to do it. It is similar to ninjutsu in the way that it does have chakra incorporated.
The only difference is no one gave it a name. Literally, the only difference is no one gave it a name.
Into it, creating a physical entity. So it is the exact same composition.
Is walking on water a jutsu? Is walking up rocks and trees and cliffs with your feet, is that a ninjutsu?
As a jutsu, but it's not utilized in the same way that ninjutsu are used.
No,
it's
it's
not a
like
jutsu
it's like
technique
open.
in that way.
No, it's like it would be like saying that like Shinra Tensei could knock you out of the 8 gates, which is like different than saying that it can nullify ninjutsu, right? You know,
Knock you out.
Fallacy of composition. Everyone names their own jutsu. Okay, fallacy of composition. That's I don't know what that is because, like I said, I don't really get into these. I don't really get into all the fallacy stuff like that. You know, cool. I just like to have genuine conversations. But yeah, fallacy of composition. Everyone names their own jutsu. Exactly. The man names after a noodle thinks pizza is a form of pasta. Brain rot. You know, that was crazy. As if a pizza is only composed of just sauce. That's hilarious. Everyone, Noodles is permabanned from Italy. Yeah. A's lightning cloak, I think, is a form of chakra density that protects the body. Exactly. That's what it would be like scientifically, a form of chakra that's been transformed with lightning energy that prevents. I don't mean scientifically like, oh, here's the atoms, and I mean like if you were to break it down without saying it's a ninjutsu, that's how it would be described. A form of lightning enhanced chakra that protects the body. We call that but they would call it a ninjutsu because it's a technique. But if you're doing the same thing with KCM, if you're doing the same thing with Biju chakra modes and stuff like that, they could readily be called ninjutsu by doing the same exact thing. I am taking Biju chakra, it's being externalized to protect my body. The only difference is no one named it a ninjutsu. No one said, hey, this is my ninjutsu that does this, right?
The 8 gates. I don't think it could do that either.
Well,
I don't think it can. I don't think it can affect chakra in that way.
Okay, well then there you go. You just conceded this point because all that using version 2 of
Walking on trees is a technique. Yeah, it is a technique.
the Nine Tails is.
And if you go to that one thing, oh my God, why did I? Oh my God, I'm gonna find it. It's okay.
It's just using the Nine Tails
Conceded?
chakra. That's
What
it.
did I concede?
You said it can't affect chakra in that way, which means that
and
it
the way
can't
you're
knock
talking
Naruto
about.
out of the Nine Tails cloak because it's basically the same principle. He's just using a lot
Okay,
of
so
chakra.
it can't nullify chakra then, right?
Yeah, but it can nullify ninjutsu.
Chakra based. Well,
But it can nullify ninjutsu.
Just it being categorized
as I
as a ninjutsu
demonstrated
doesn't
it
change
doing.
its composition. That doesn't change its composition. It's still composed of chakra creating a physical force. It's no different than a ninjutsu. You're just assuming that because it's not categorized as a ninjutsu, it somehow functions differently than a ninjutsu. Define to me what the difference in function between the lightning cloak and the chakra cloak of the Nine Tails. What's the difference in function there?
That was a beautiful way to sum up the exact problem with Swag's thinking in this. We'll see if Swag can swag surf his way out of this one. I can't really think of a legitimate argument that would differentiate a lightning cloak versus a Biju cloak. They're functionally the same thing. One just has an elemental release and is classified as a ninjutsu. So we'll see what Swag says, but I'm on Noodles' side for this point.
Well, one of them is that the Raikage is like wrapping himself in like lightning, whereas like
wrapping him.
So he's wrapping himself in chakra.
To a complete site in just a single prompt with Wix Harmony. I don't know if this is going to be possible. Or
Self and Nine Tails chakra.
No, but he's like using the Nine Tails chakra.
It's using nature.
Right? Like it's different. It's
So now we have a problem with where the chakra comes from. Why would that be an issue? So why would that be different though? That doesn't tell us why it's inherently different. The fact that he's using chakra from something else wouldn't make it necessarily different than the Raikages.
like it's not different.
We know jutsu don't have to have nature release though.
And I also don't
That's
even
true.
think it's on me to explain why they're different, right?
No,
Like,
it would
You
be.
do.
No,
You
because
have
if it's
to.
not categorized as a ninjutsu, it's not a ninjutsu.
No, it's not a named ninjutsu. It's not a named technique. And here's the thing, and the Rasengan is the best thing for this. Minato was working on a technique that he had no name for, but but here's the thing: did it become a ninjutsu when he decided how to actually do it and like work it out, or was it always just chakra in the form of a circle, sphere, spiraling energy, right? So, you know.
Oh, this is not a ninjutsu because it's not a technique like that. You're not weaving hand signs, but it is composed of the same exact things. You can agree to that, right?
So what I would say
Answer the question, don't
is that
deflect. Answer the question, don't deflect.
Wait, what do you mean? It's composed of the
Is
same
it
things,
is it
like he's
composed of the
using, like-
same thing that ninjutsu is composed of?
That's not. That doesn't like.
Yes or
defeat
no?
my
Don't
point,
deflect.
though.
Don't deflect.
No,
Yes or
but
no?
that doesn't defeat
Don't
my
deflect.
point. What I'm saying the point. No, but
You
the
have to
point
say
you're
yes or
making doesn't
no.
defeat. No, I don't. I can
You have to
answer
say
the
yes
point.
or no and then address it.
I
You
know
can
I
address it
don't.
after
You're
you say yes or no.
literally doing the fucking Wojak of the dude with the earpiece in,
Wojak?
bro.
No, dude, this is literally just me asking you to address whether or not
And
you
I'm
consider
answering
it the same composition.
I'm answering the point that you're making here by asking the question. I can answer a rhetorical question with a point that like addresses the
Giovanni,
point
come
being
here.
made by
Come here,
the
Giovanni.
rhetorical question.
Giovanni, come here.
What I'm saying is, okay,
Hold
so
on, Swag. We gotta get Giovanni in here. Come here, Giovanni.
fuck, I don't even remember what I was about to say now.
All right,
Fuck.
look down at that camera real quick. Okay. All right, tell Swagkage right now that he has to tell me whether or not the Nine-Tailed Chakra Cloak is
The
same
antics are
composition
hilarious.
as Jutsu. Tell him. I don't know. Okay, get out of here. He's useless.
Giovanni useless.
This is why you're not getting a fucking raise. This is why you're not getting a fucking raise, Giovanni.
Oh my god, dude, bro, he just sold on you.
Hey.
Oh my god.
What? He may have soloed me, but guess what? He's
He
not
just
you.
sold
You
on
don't get his
you.
W. You don't get his W.
Oh, no, I think you gotta conclude, bro.
I don't have to conclude. What are you talking about? Anyway,
Bro, you
There
just
was-
got shit on.
he's my butler. If I get shit on by my butler, that's just like Alfred shitting on Batman. Like, it's fine. Alfred's a
Bro,
dope.
okay, anyway, the reason why I don't, what I'm saying is we see Shinra Tensei nullify ninjutsu, and we don't see it nullify the cloak. So I can just be like, well, it's not a ninjutsu
In what
based
way is
off
it
of that
nullifying
criteria.
ninjutsu, though?
It nullifies the
pulling chakra
Raikage. It nullifies the Raikage. It
All right, and this is why, like, why when people debate, they don't come on a conclusive agreement on the terms, right? Because you can't just let a statement like nullify go unchecked. Okay, well, let's look at what nullify means, and let's see with which definition it's most in line with. That's what we would have to do.
nullifies the Earth wall. It
Why-
nullifies the.
No.
It nullifies the earth wall.
Nullify
lightning
just
running
means to. Hold on, let's look up what nullify means, just so we're clear on what that
Thank you.
terminology is. Nullify. Make no use of or cancel out. Okay. So
Yeah, so he does.
if you cancel it out, how and what you can cancel something out in a lot of ways. So, like for instance, when Kakashi's two Raikage,
So I'm not really a fan of just Googling definitions. Not that there's anything inherently wrong with it, but I just like actual dictionaries. Yes, I understand Google pulls from dictionaries, but no. Nullify. To make null. To make legally null. To make of no value or consequence. Cool. Cool. So to make null and void. Let's see what null is. Okay. Amounting to nothing, having no value, having no elements, having zero as limit, having all elements equal to zero. Being related to a method of measurement, indicating usually by zero. Of being or relating to zero. Okay. A condition of radio receiver, a minimum or zero value to make null. All right. Oh, I said noid. That's hilarious. Void, containing nothing, not occupied, not inhabited, being without something specified, having no members. Void, empty space, the quality of state of being without something, a feeling of want or hollowness, absent. To make empty or vacant. And back to nullify. 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 Okay. So, after all that, I think definition number 2, to make of no value or consequence, most in line with what nullify would mean for Shinra Tensei. But here's the thing about that. The word nullify, I don't believe, was in the definition from the data book. So let's double check that. Let's fact check that real quickly, guys. We're at 125.37. Cool. 125.37. Okay. Let's read this together. If the word nullify is in here, we'll go with it. If not, then no. Sorry. Okay. Shinra Tensei, the invisible hand of God, which repels anything in creation. So we should probably be using repel then instead of nullify, but let's continue. Deva Path Pain uses this ninjutsu using repulsive gravitational force generated in the user's hands to repel targets. The number of targets and their size do not interfere with the repulsive ability of jutsu. In addition, by stopping using the other pains and concentrating the chakra only for jutsu, the strength and area affected can be greatly increased. With an attack of this power, Konoha Gakude no Sato is completely turned to ash. However, after just 5 seconds, cool, cannot be used again. The repulsive force generated by the gravitational powers forces the targets to collide with obstacles, increasing the initial damage of the jutsu's shockwave. Only those who can manipulate all chakra natures possessing the legendary Rinnegan are allowed to own this jutsu, which has every right to be called perfect as a diamond. The repulsive force is so strong that ninjutsu and taijutsu are equally ineffective against this jutsu, with an unexpected discharge of this invisible force, it is very practical to catch opponents with low guard. Okay, cool. So nullify doesn't even show up in the text. I don't know why Noodles... I don't know how Noodles... So here's the thing. Noodles read this. Noodles read this verbatim. And he still let Swag talk about it being a nullifying thing. But if we look at the words that are actually used, repulse and repel comes up more. And ineffective comes up. So let's look up ineffective first. Because I don't know how we could be having an argument about nullify when that word isn't even in the data book that you're quoting. It's also not in the manga. Ineffective. Not producing an intended effect, not capable of performing efficiently or as expected. Oh, actually, both of those definitions would technically be in line. But number 2, not capable of performing efficiently or as expected. So if he makes jutsu ineffective, he makes them not capable of performing efficiently or as expected, right? Or if he makes jutsu ineffective, he makes them as not producing an intended effect. If the effect was, if the effect of the lightning dog hound thing was the shock pain, and Shinra Tensei makes it ineffective, it is actually performing both of these things. So the fact that the fact that Noodles even got caught up in this is very telling, especially since he read it and he still let him get away with calling it a nullifying technique. Unless I'm in mistake somewhere, unless I'm in error somewhere in that like nullified was actually qualified, I don't know how he got in this mess. Okay. Does anyone know where I said we were at? Let me go back. Luckily, this is being recorded. He still let him get away with hold up. 1 second, y'all. Shockwave. Okay. Let's read this together. Wait a minute. Okay. Hold up, y'all. I'm gonna find the exact place where we are. I think definition. Not that. 1 second. So let's double check that. Let's. Okay. Wait, where are we at? 125.37. 125.37. Okay, cool.
The earth wall, it nullifies the
nullify just means to hold on, let's look up what nullify means just so we're clear on what that terminology is.
Like the stream,
nullify.
Subscribe to the channel, share the video,
make no use of or cancel out. Okay.
Oh.
Work today is broken. Every day people juggle so many different tools.
Can we not hear the video? Can we hear?
Tools just to get work done.
So
Yeah. So
Can we hear? Are we good? Laugh my ass off. Let's look up what this word we have been using means. Exactly, bro. For definitions. Nullify, essentially in this case, means to make it so nothing happens as a result. Yes, I agree, Chains of Scarlet. But the thing is, as we just saw, nullify isn't even used in that databook statement. Ineffective and repel was used. Swag is using nullify like delete or evaporate or whatever. That's not how it works. So I agree that, or I would say that can be how it works. That can definitely be how it works. It's definitely not in this case, and they're not even using the correct words because that word isn't even in the data book. This whole debate was like, Swag, all mice are lizards, Noodles. Well, all lizards are wizards. You can't prove that mice cast spells, so you lose. Repeat for 3 hours. That's crazy. Why would you agree to something without knowing what it means? Again, hey, what's good, Scarlet Majin? Cool. We have Chains of Scarlet in the building, and we have Scarlet Majin. How you doing? Hey, Majin, I saw that calc. I messaged you back on that calc. I saw it, though. Going to do my check-in. Gotcha. Nullify is a fair rhetorical description of what happens, but Swag is specifically adding this layer of deletion. He's smearing the definition. Yes. I mean, and here's the thing. As he should be, because it's on Noodles' part to do the due diligence of the words being used and to make sure they're actually, first off, not only to make sure they're being used within the data book, but after 10 minutes of or 5 minutes of debating the word, now they want to look it up. Yeah, so we can't be doing that stuff. Like, you can nullify my argument by defeating it. That doesn't mean you cancel out the sound wave itself. That's kind of what Swag is trying to do. Exactly. I retracted the comment because I didn't realize you were scrolling elsewhere. Okay, gotcha. all good. All right.
if you cancel it out, how and what you can cancel something out in a lot of ways. So, like for instance, when Kakashi's 2 Raikiri and Kakuzu's False Darkness collide, they cancel each other out. But it's not like Kakashi's Raikiri did some weird chakra shit where it blew his chakra away. It's just they were equal in force, so they nullified.
Yeah, but the Shinra Tensei has the statement about being able to blow away all ninjutsu.
Yeah, it blows it away with power. And it's not all ninjutsu, it just says ninjutsu.
I want him to say
That
it
would be
nullifies.
all ninjutsu.
No. That's just your
name
assumption.
a ninjutsu that it has failed to nullify.
It's not a ninjutsu.
It's never nullified any ninjutsu, good brother. That word isn't in your data book statement.
But it has the same composition, so it works. It's the nine-tailed cloak.
Say that again. Say that again one more time.
It's not a ninjutsu, but the nine-tailed cloak is composed of the same elements that ninjutsu
you hear
are.
that, chat?
And
It's not a ninjutsu.
It's not.
Swag, it not being a ninjutsu doesn't help you. The Rasengan wasn't a ninjutsu until they called it a ninjutsu, but nothing changed about the Rasengan, my guy.
It's not
a ninjutsu.
Hold on, Swag. Real quick before we start freaking out. All right. The Nine Tails cloak is still composed of the same thing that ninjutsu is composed of, so it has no functional difference between ninjutsu. It is the same thing as a ninjutsu. It's just not categorized.
They are functional. They're not even functional. I was about to say they're functional equivalents, but we're not even going to do that. They are the same damn thing.
It's not like a technique that you use. It's a transformation. It's like saying, I don't know a good analogy for this, but it's not a ninjutsu. It is it's not even a technique. It is just a transformation that has the same properties as ninjutsu. And if it has the same properties as ninjutsu and it can't just rip the chakra cloak off of it, then that proves it wouldn't necessarily work on all ninjutsu. And if it does,
it proves that it's not a ninjutsu.
If it does,
it's not functionally the same because it's nullified every other ninjutsu thrown at it.
If it does, do you think it would just blow away Kaguya's eternal truth-seeking orb? Because that's classified as a ninjutsu.
Yeah, but the expansive truth-seeking orbs also nullify ninjutsu.
Okay,
and it's a
contradiction then.
Well, so I get so funny, bro. I'm not gonna.
All non-truth-seeking orb ninjutsu, then.
You really want to stand on that?
Sure.
I can bring up some crazy ninjutsu.
See, what I would have liked, what I would have loved, is if Noodles was like playing dumb here. If Noodles was playing dumb and was like, you know what? Let's read that definition again. Hey, Swag, where's the word nullify in there at all? What are you arguing exactly? Because you're not arguing for nullification. That's not in the databook statement that you just sent. I would have loved some shit like that. It would have been really dope.
Buddy, you want to talk about Ishiki? You want to talk about his cube techniques? Is it going to blow away Ishiki's cubes?
Isn't Ishiki's cube technique a shinjutsu?
No, is it?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, because I mean, why wouldn't the Preta path be able to absorb
do you think Sage Six Tails Naruto's lava style Rasenshuriken just gets blown away by Pain's ninjutsu?
Actually, yes, I do.
When I used to think about taxes, I would just cringe. I used to use a CPA.
Why wouldn't he get blown away by Jimmy?
Yeah, see that's a funny. Why wouldn't it get blown away? What would stop it from getting blown away?
Oh my gosh! So you're actually?
I know it sounds stupid, but okay. Why wouldn't
it doesn't sound as stupid as one might think.
the Preta path be able to?
Let me. If the chaotic Shinra Tensei has the force to destroy the entire village, if regular Shinra Tensei have the force to push 3 huge toads away, I'm not understand. We understand that the Rasenshuriken's potency would be in the explosion. If he destroys it before it goes off, and even if it goes off and he does Shinra Tensei, he should actually be fine. There would be nothing wrong with that at all.
Wouldn't the Preta path be able to absorb it? That sounds stupid too.
Real quick, on record, Swag. Let's say this on record because it's just funny. All right, you think that if Pain fought Sage Six Tails Naruto, and let's assume their speeds are equal, because obviously Sage Six Tails Naruto would blitz, but let's say that he's not blitzing. If Naruto threw his lava style Rasenshuriken or his Sage Six Tails magnet style Rasenshuriken, that Pain could just blow it away.
A similar question, since I know you're trying to make me sound stupid. Do you think
I'm
the
not trying to
Yata
make
mirror
you
would be
sound
able to
stupid.
block
I'm
it?
just
Do you
doing
think the
what you did
Yata
to me in the
mirror
last
would? Do you think
video.
the Yata mirror would be able to block it?
Yeah.
Okay, well there you go. That sounds stupid too, but that's how it works. Pain would be able to repel it with Shinra Tensei.
Okay, real quick before we get into the Atamir, because that is actually my counter to Shinra Tensei. Before we get into that, I wanted to clarify why this position is just inherently a contradiction. Like you said, both the Truth-Seeking Orb, or the Eternal Truth-Seeking Orb, and Pain's Shinra Tensei are stated to be able to nullify all ninjutsu, right? They both have, not all ninjutsu, only the Eternal Truth-Seeking Orb is.
You would just say that.
Hold on, real quick.
No. The Truth-Seeking Orb. No. I'm helping you out here. It's not just expansive. It's all Truth-Seeking Orbs. But
yeah, all Truth-Seeking Orbs.
That's because it's like a higher order of ninjutsu, because it uses all of the natures, and it's like yin yang. Six Path Sage enhanced, right? That's why it nullifies ninjutsu.
I agree. So the fact is, though, it's still categorized as a ninjutsu. So if we're going purely off this categorization argument that you're making,
it's like unstoppable force and movable object.
Exactly,
paradox.
It's an inherent contradiction. So you cannot use that argument in good faith.
No, it's not a contradiction. You would just say that the Truth-Seeking Orbs have resistance to this otherwise unresistible ability.
It's showing that it's objectively.
Also, real quick, if it nullifies ninjutsu, why is there even lightning present in this scan? All the lightning should have been also blown away, nullified away. Even on Kakashi's hand, it should have been blown off of his hand.
Contradiction.
Okay,
If the entailment you're making from this statement is this, hold on, listen, I'm gonna explain why.
Well, I haven't.
Hold on.
Okay, no, go ahead.
Yeah. I'll let you reply. Don't worry. We can slow it down if you want to. Anytime you want to slow down, we can slow it down and bring it down a notch. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm gonna say is that these Truth-Seeking Orbs are stated to nullify all ninjutsu, and you're interpreting this other scan as nullifying all ninjutsu, right? So if they both have that statement and they're both considered ninjutsu, you're right. It is the unstoppable force meets an immovable object. What happens? And it's an inherent contradiction.
Yeah, so I understand what you're saying.
Those two sentences cannot be right at the same time.
So
they can't.
Let me give you an example by like we're gonna create a few ideas and like axiomatically declare some shit. Okay, so let's say
axiomatically.
Yeah. So
do you know what an axiom is?
Yes, like it's like.
Tell me an axiom.
Oh my fucking god, this is stupid, bro. Come on.
You don't know what an axiom is.
Hey yo, when you get caught out there, you caught out there, bro. Oh man. That was funny. He said axiomatically. Do you know what an axiom is? Yes. What's an axiom? Bro. Listen. There's nothing wrong with being in the heat of the moment and throwing out words you've heard and that you think you know what they mean just based on the context. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you get pressed and you're like forced to double down, I would be like, I mean, I think it means this. Am I wrong or right? Okay, let me use a different word. That was just funny as shit, though. I'll both be surprised and not surprised if Swag somewhat knows what axiom means. Because what was the first sentence? He said, we're going to axiomatically do what? Define the word? What did he say?
A few ideas and like axiomatically declare some shit. Okay, so
okay, axiomatically declare some stuff. You can declare some stuff using you can do that. You can do it. This late into the conversation, though, I don't know what he could be. We'll see. That's funny though. That's hilarious. That was a good laugh.
Yeah. So
you know what an axiom is?
Yes, like it's like.
Tell me an axiom.
Oh my fucking god, this is stupid, bro. Come on.
You don't know what an axiom is.
Yes, I do.
Don't
Okay,
lie.
so an axiom is an idea,
self-evident
like a statement.
principle.
It's just like a
No, it's a
statement, which is
self-evident
like
principle.
like an
not a
established
statement.
principle or whatever.
It's a fundamental self.
It's not a statement. Or I'm
That's
gonna
not how
Google
you
what
would define
axiom
it.
is right now. I'm
It's a
gonna Google
self-evident
what
truth.
axiom is. I'm gonna Google what axiom is right now. That definition, you're flushed. A statement or proposition which is regarded as being established, accepted, or self-evidently true. Wow.
Yeah, Swag, you didn't say that though, bro. You started off with, listen, you might not have finished because Noodles cut you off, but I don't think you was going there with axiom. I don't think you were going there with axioms. Axioms, basic beliefs that are accepted as true on the basis of being true to move the conversation forward. That's what I would say, but like I don't think he was going there with it.
Wow, bro, you just got cooked again. First,
Well, you just said it was a
comes in and
statement.
is
You
just
didn't
like,
say-
oh, no.
All right, so
and then Google says that axiom is a statement, and you're sitting
right,
here. No,
I'm
go
gonna
ahead
look
and pull
up
that. Go ahead, pull
Hold
that
on,
up
I'm
on
gonna do
stream and
something funny.
show
I'm gonna do something
everybody that
funny.
you just tried to
I
copy.
already did.
Us,
I actually just did. I literally just did. I'm gonna make a funny argument. So, do you know what the definition of definition is?
I'm about to leave the call.
No, this is just funny, bro.
I mean, it's
a
self-referencing,
definition of
so-
definition is a statement of the exact meaning of a word. Okay, that's the definition of definition. I asked you to define that this.
Can I just say what I was going to say?
I don't care about this.
What I was going to say. This is so stupid, bro.
Yeah, it's just funny. It's just
So-
funny. I'm just trolling.
So Swag, So Swag, well, no, I don't even want to say that. Noodles fucked up by jumping the gun too early. He heard statements. He said, "You don't know that. It's not. You don't know what axiom is." He should have let Swag explain. First, and then he could have called him out there more. But that was funny. That was some funny buck dancing.
Yeah. So okay. 1 second. I need a second.
All right, I want to talk about the Yatamir here in a second, if that's all right.
Yeah.
All right, let me take a minute
I
to
don't-
read the chat.
I think I may have
What was
misspoke
that?
earlier. I do not think the Yatamir.
Okay, yeah. Let me let me read the chats real quick. Where we at? Like the stream, share the video, pay tithes. Your tithes are liking the stream for your boy Ab-Stract. Make sure to heart that stream too. I saw some hearts going on there. Let me make sure to heart that stream. Yeah, hooray, yeah. All right, cool. Right. Are the comments about the dictionary website I like going through, or is it being blocked by YouTube? Let me see, bro. I don't see them on my side, but I'm not really logged into my main channel on the phone, so I don't know if they're going through or not, bro. I don't see anything about the dictionary from you though, so I would say they probably are being blocked. They were not equal in force because it blew Kakashi away. By Swag's definition, the Rasengan isn't a jutsu either. Thank you, Chains of Scarlet. Thank you. That's like, this is why ball knowledge, and listen, I'll say this first. This is why ball knowledge is important. I think John said that Noodles is way better with forming his arguments in rhetoric, which I also agree with. But someone like Sage would easily be able to point out that the Rasengan thing that we all just know is not a jutsu, is just chakra in his hand swirling, but we're going to call it a jutsu. Sage definitely probably would have been someone to point that out as fast as I did. Whereas Noodles has to argue it rhetorically with, oh, well, I mean, it's a category area. It's this, it's that. They had the same function, you know. But yeah. So what was your opinion about the calc inconsistency I gave? So I didn't analyze the part about Grimjow and the star thing. So far, I was really just looking over the actual calc and the numbers. And I'll say this, your calc is consistent with other ones I've seen online. So that's really, really good. I did appreciate that aspect. I saw like website link to Majin. I have to click on that. I haven't actually like delved into that part. I was more so just looking at everything you said as far as the building size, the wall thickness and stuff like that, Grimjow's attack and all that other stuff. So I was really looking at that stuff. That stuff all looked really good though, and like I said, very consistent with other calcs I've seen of that feat. But I still have to check out everything to see what you're saying. Would it blow away dust release? I believe Shinra Tensei would blow away dust release. Yeah. Noodle's argument is that a slab of raw steel is a sword because a sword is just made of iron. Is that in relation to the chakra distinction between like a jutsu versus raw chakra? Or are you talking about like the pizza analogy thing? Because that was a terrible analogy. If you're going back to that, then yeah, the pizza is what do you say? Pizza is just tomato sauce? That's a terrible argument. Why not? It is chakra construct. Yes, it is. Eternal True Seeking Orb, Chaotic Shinra Tensei. Fellas, just be making sounds. But it takes time for the Prey to Path to absorb high chakra density techniques. High chakra density or high chakra volume? Swag Zusov axiomatically declares is fine here. Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. It was just funny because he started like, when he was asked, and mind you, no one is expecting to be asked the definition of a thing they're using in real time. So maybe his mind was a little jittery. That can happen, definitely. But it was just funny how he started off. Noodles should have let him finish his explanation first before cutting him off, because that then gave Swag the opportunity to confirm if what he was going to say is true. And now we don't know if Swag was going to actually say something close to that definition or not, because Noodles cut him off and already said, statement, no, you're incorrect. But I do believe, yes, you can axiomatically state something. You can definitely do that. Yeah, no problem with that. Noodles isn't really using the term correctly. You didn't think Noodles' definition of the word was more correct? Because I take axioms as basic beliefs to use as a foundation for starting conversations. Like, for example, if we're in One Punch Man and they have a tree, right? We would say like, okay, cool. There's no evidence to suggest that this tree is multiple times larger or multiple times smaller. It would be a basic belief that this tree is the same size as our IRL tree or even our own existence, right? Because we can't really make sense of things unless we're grounded in some sense of reality. So if we take our because we talk about utility, right? The utility in taking our existence as true is so that we're not crazy and that we all don't just do whatever we want around here. No, life has meaning. That's what we would have to believe as a basic belief to have any type of progressive interactions with each other. At least that's how I think. I thought Noodles did a pretty okay job of defining that. It's a believe me, bro statement. It's a believe me, bro statement. Yeah. I mean, yeah, believe me, bro. Yeah. The rules of chess are axioms the game designers decided on. The rules of chess are axioms that the game's designers decided on. I suppose you could say that. YouTube does not like chat posting links. Oh, wow. A jutsu is made with intent. So the intent factor is what separates a jutsu from something just being chakra. The question would then be, though, also, what inherently is different about the thing having intent versus it just being its raw thing? Right? Might need live chat on top of chat on, but YouTube does usually block links. Okay. Yeah, in my opinion, Sage wouldn't fall for this. He's a better debater. I mean, even if, like, let's just say Noodles was the better debater. In this case, I feel like Sage's ball knowledge or Naruto would take him to, hold up, it's not a jutsu? Well, hold up. The Rasengan is just spiraling chakra in a sphere. That wasn't always a jutsu. Maybe things that aren't called jutsu can be jutsu, even if they're not called jutsu. I feel like Sage would come to that conclusion a lot faster. Or like his argument is like comment. Cement is a building because buildings are made of cement. Raw ingredients are not equivalent to what they get made into is my point. Okay, no, and I can completely agree with that. I would just say in this particular case, though, I feel like he has a point about, because here's the thing. When I did my TSO video and I said that, and they said that the TSOs nullify ninjutsu, in my head, I say, okay, cool. What that really means is that TSOs nullify chakra. TSOs nullify ninjutsu. Okay, what is ninjutsu? What really composes it? Spiritual energy, mental energy. Okay, chakra. That's what TSOs nullify. So in this case, I don't have a problem with him going to nullifies chakra. In the case that you're talking about with cement and pizza and buildings and stuff, he would absolutely be wrong because a single component of something is not its foundation. So I completely agree with you with that. Cement has multiple ingredients in it, if I'm not mistaken. A lot of it being sand, which is really just minerals and water, and then a process of, making it harder. So you're completely correct, John, about just as far as not honing in on one thing being the entire thing. I completely agree with that. The website is Wiktionary. Never heard of that. Wiktionary. Interesting. .org. Okay, got you. It's the difference between the lightning cloak and the tailed beast cloak. Tailed beast. Yes. This just the duck test. I don't know the duck test. Let's get back to it.
It's equivalent to the Shinra Tensei. I don't. By the way.
Okay. So what I was gonna say is, let's say that we define like an attack, right? Like I'm just gonna make up a universe and say there's a character named Greg with an ability, I don't know, Holus, right? And Holus is it just has the ability to nullify all defenses. Okay? Right? It's like an ability where no matter what durability you have, you just bam, pounds through that shit.
What ability are we talking about?
I'm making up an ability. I'm calling it Holus. It is Greg from my new universe's ability, okay? So Greg
Base 44 super agents. The next thing you can't live without. No setup. Just say hello.
Greg has Holus, and Holus just bypasses all durability, okay? And that is the statement. We are axiomatically declaring that, okay? Right?
Sure. It's like a truth-seeking orb, kind of?
Sort of, yeah. So now, I am going to say that there is George who has an ability called the Hose, which is just that it nullifies... I'm gonna say it's actually called a piece of armor. It's a piece of armor called the Hose. No, just let me cook for a second, okay?
Okay, I'll try.
And the piece of armor has let's just say one ability that I don't even have to get into, and it has a second sub ability where it has complete resistance to abilities of an absolute nature, like one that would, for example, bypass all durability. Okay, so both of these things can coexist, okay? You can have the thing that nullifies all forms of durability and something that has resistance to absolute concepts like that, and they can both coexist in the same universe, right? One of them just takes priority or precedence over the other, which is what I'm saying happens with
So you're just saying that there's...
So he did all that just to basically do the Shinra Tensei True-Seeking Orb comparison, because Noodles would still be right. It would still be this is taking what they're saying as true, because Ab-Stract don't believe none of this shit. John DeMave, I heard you say you don't like to talk in the third person. That was hilarious. I like to talk in third person. Ab-Stract ain't taking none of that shit. Holus versus Hose. The ability that can punch through all forms of durability. I'll say it again. Holus, the ability that can punch through all forms of defense and durability. Versus Hose, which has an ability, but its second ability is that it is completely impervious to absolutes. This ability, Hose, would be an absolute. I'm sorry, this ability, I don't know whichever one. The one that can punch through all the defenses is an absolute versus the one that can defend things that are not, whatever. You still have an inherent contradiction. It's still what was described before. Immovable force meets unmovable object. I don't know the utility of this example. I really don't, because within their purview, he's really still describing the TSO and Shinra Tensei. I don't think this didn't really add any new foundations or metrics to like
Describing
consider
it wrong. You're saying they're describing it wrong.
No, not necessarily. The Shinra Tensei can nullify all ninjutsu below like the fucking I don't know tier of a truth-seeking orb because they both have the same ability.
That, though, so they are
but they
describing
both
it wrong.
yeah. Well, wait, what do you mean?
So they didn't say like below a certain tier. It's just straight up.
Right, but we're
like,
just
it can
reasoning it
nullify
out.
ninjutsu.
We're just reasoning it out because we've never seen Shinra
Yeah.
Tensei interact with a truth-seeking orb anyway. So for all we know, they could cancel each other out.
Do you think that they? But then they're not. They're. I guess that would be a form of nullification. But I will say this. It doesn't say all ninjutsu. Like I said, you are making that up.
It doesn't say nullify.
Wait, what? No, it just
say
says
all.
Ninjutsu, as in like.
You're assuming it means all ninjutsu.
Okay, show me a ninjutsu that it has not nullified, and I will.
Show me that it can nullify all ninjutsu because it's your claim.
Nullified every ninjutsu that it's been put up against, bro.
So it hasn't been proven.
That's
to
not an
nullify
argument,
all
though.
ninjutsu,
But it's nullified every ninjutsu that it's been thrown.
That doesn't mean it can nullify all though.
But okay,
so what's the proof that it actually can do all?
Let's reread the databook statement.
I know. I've read this databook. I know what it says.
So let's see if let's see if Noodles can find out that the word nullify isn't even in there.
It doesn't say all. It says the repulsive force is so strong that ninjutsu and taijutsu are equally ineffective against this jutsu.
Yeah, like they don't work, as in it nullifies them all.
No, not the same thing.
That's not the case, though. It doesn't say all. It doesn't say all.
Yo, what's up, Erica?
Are you streaming too?
No, Erica just showed up in your chat.
So he let him get away with saying it nullifies by saying ineffective. Maybe they should look up the word ineffective.
That's the girl I'm dating.
Who's Erica? Who's Erica?
Erica's the girl I'm dating.
This man definitely.
Oh, what's up, Erica? Your boy Swag's doing pretty good. You need to be proud of him. I will say this, Swag, for someone that doesn't debate.
At this point, we got lost.
Let me give you this compliment real quick, unless you don't want it, in which case I'm gonna just have to kill you. But do you want this compliment or no?
Sure.
All right, I'm going to say, for someone that doesn't debate a lot, I think you do a good job of prepping for debates. I think that people underestimate you. Now, that being said, this definitely doesn't fucking say all ninjutsu. You're making that shit up, so.
Or
okay, we can move on now if you want.
So, and here's the thing about that argument. If it actually did say nullifies ninjutsu, if it did say that, I would give it to Swag. I would say ninjutsu is a classification of techniques, and anything that is considered a ninjutsu would be nullified under this umbrella. That's what I would say, but it says it makes them ineffective, which is not the same thing. Something can be ineffective and still have an effect. This is true. Something can be ineffective or less effective and still have an effect.
All right, you want to lay out your Yadomir argument?
Okay, yeah,
Hey,
we can
if
just
y'all
talk
don't
about.
mind, if y'all don't mind, maybe conclude on that point too. I timed that point. That one was 30 minutes. So.
I don't think we need a conclusion. Do you want to conclude?
Yeah, I don't think we need conclusion either. I think we can just move on to Yadomir.
Yeah, we can just talk about the Yadomir. So, Giovanni, bring me my scan. I need the Yadomir.
Someone in chat said, "Stay on bras, Raikage, you can cook."
All right. Hey, get me the scan where it's talking about the Yadomir and Susanoo and shit. The databook one. All right.
Your scan, sir.
Thank you, Giovanni. All right, so right here, boys, I got the scan printed off. So it says, let me read it. Its hands wield matchless sacred weapons. Susanoo boasts an absolutely perfect attack and defense because of the spirit weapon it wields in both hands. The 10-handed sword that can cut down any enemy in its right. Any enemy, Pain's in this databook, by the way. And the Yadomir, a shield that can repel any attack, not just jutsu, any attack. In the face of a god's powers, you know how they always talk about how Pain's a god. In the face of a god's powers, all attacks, whether from a material or astral body, ninjutsu or physical, lose their meaning. So that means that describes the Shinra Tensei, because not only is it a ninjutsu, it's also physical and non-physical. So it affects that.
Okay. So we're moving on
whatsoever,
to
and
the
it
Yatamir.
loses its meaning against it. And just to prove it to you even further, the Yatamir, a spirit weapon without physical form. It's not a ninjutsu at all. It's a spirit weapon. And what it does, it actually reflects things back out at you. So in the same way that like you're describing, Six Tails Naruto repelled it with his like cloak, like it's actually stated that like when Naruto resists the Shinra Tensei, it
Can
actually...
you pull up the scan that Six just sent?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, somebody just said in chat that
You can't see it. Yeah, I understand. I'll put it up on screen. But here it is for everyone that wants to see it up close. There you go. I just wanted to print these off just so we know what we're doing. Anyway.
John says, "Oh yeah, I walked that back talking about self in the third person because I didn't want to slander you. LOL. I just have insufficient order to pull it off. No, all good, bro. I didn't take it as slander at all. I know it's extremely. So the thing is, I've been doing that for like years since I was like extremely young. I've been always saying my name and myself in the third person. It is literally second nature to me. I just thought it was hilarious. I just wanted to say that. What else we got? Ignored any weird grammatical errors on my end. I'm on mobile and using talk to text, and I don't always catch the errors that come from it. All good, Chances Scarlet. All good. If I spell things wrong, it's me trying to make the 200 characters limit of the live chat, even if it's only 20 characters. That's hilarious. Got you. All good though, bro. This is the spear versus shield argument. Yes. The only way it nullifies jutsu is if it destabilizes the chakra that makes them up and dissipates them. Exactly. Very good point. Very good point. Oh yeah, yes. Swag is hung up on the skewed definition of nullify. He is, and that word isn't even in the definition of the that word isn't even in the databook statement. See what I mean, VRO? VRO? Bro? Maybe bro. Noodles, the category statement, ninjutsu, doesn't explicitly say all, so it doesn't mean all. Swag. I play argument from ignorance. This card switches burden of proof to my opponent. That's hilarious. Umbrella, yes. Well, so let me ask you this, John. Did you have problems how I categorized the ninjutsu as far as if they're all under this clan? Oh, well, so when I said umbrella, you probably said yes to that. Okay, yeah, you were probably saying yes to that. Actually, let me stop. You probably, yeah. I swear, hearing them argue is tiring. I don't mind it. I haven't seen. So first off, I didn't finish this debate even when it came out, but I haven't seen this in about like 2 years, so I don't mind hearing it. All that for Totsuka Blade for it to be a Zanpakuto level. That's hilarious. The Susanos Yadamir. Yadamir. That's hilarious. At least under Swag's skewed definition of nullify, the tailed beast cloak is still labeled correctly as not a ninjutsu. It's still labeled correctly. See, I'm with Noodles on that though, bro. All ninjutsu are made up unless it comes from a dojutsu, which we have confirmation that is pre-encoded genes. It's pre-encoded information into the eye that you know, like from a fucking not Sixth Sense, but like, what's the word? The word eludes me, but yeah, it's coming from you by means that are not. It's inherent. It's inherent, basically, right? Ninjutsu aren't that. Ninjutsu are, I see a phenomena, I want to replicate a phenomena in nature, and I try my best to replicate it, and I'm going to call this jutsu. Ninjutsu are not real, in the sense that like they're natural or they come by a mystified means. They don't. They're made up on the spot. Literally anything can be a ninjutsu. The Rasengan was a jutsu even before it was called a jutsu, because what qualified it didn't change when he mastered it. What qualified it to be a jutsu didn't change when he mastered it. So no, I have to go with Noodles on that interpretation. Imagine taking databook statements like these literally. Just imagine. Ayo, so that too, John. I meant to ask you, bro. The project you have going on. Can you explain that in more depth to me here in the chat, bro? From what I understand, you're going to be analyzing. From what I understand, you're going to be analyzing to the best of your ability all the databook statements, right? And then finding parallels between what is hyperbolic in your opinion, what could be taken as true, and what is consistent. Is that somewhat correct? And then I guess the actual, because like I said, I caught a little bit on stream, but it was kind of hard to piece it together because I haven't been following this journey of yours. So is the actual purpose of this task to like have a compilation of statements from the databook, and just kind of determine their the veracity of how true they are. Because I think it's amazing. Number one, I think it's amazing. It's really dope that you're doing this too. Zanpato below the Totsuka blade. Shinigami. You gotta stop that stuff. They both cut spirits. So what? Yo, what I miss? Hey, what's good, Ig? How you doing, bro? We Noodles and Swagkage still talking that debate shit. So basically, what is top tier in Naruto is fodder and Bleach. So does Zanpato. I played a trap card. Loser of this debate says what? Right. And on top of that, souls in Naruto have no durability. Souls in Naruto have no durability. No durability? I mean, they haven't really been hit with spiritual attacks well, actually, no, the Shinigami did cut Orochimaru's spiritual arms, but that Shinigami would need scaling. So, yeah. I wouldn't say no durability. The fact that they can be injured means they have some type of spiritual substance to them, so. Fun fact, I did not get a notification. That is ridiculous. See, it's really weird though too, guys, because I check on some of my other YouTube accounts when I go live and when I set my things, I'm getting notifications from other accounts. So I don't know what's happening, bro. Going to reference Yamcha in my drawing, lol. Yeah, I think we're mostly in agreement. Okay, gotcha. One smart, it doesn't neg soul durability. Laugh myself. Where did you get that info? Wait, me? What did I do? Did I mention you, Shinigami? I might have. Sometimes I talk too fast, and sometimes I skip over certain things. If I mentioned you, Shinigami, in place of someone else like Karibo, I might have been mistaken. So no, not you, if I did say that.
What I was going to say was, when the Six Tails repels, in fact, I'll post this again, when he repels the Shinra Tensei, he actually, I have it right here. We can just read it at the moment. So look at this scan, Swag.
Yeah.
It says, he withstood the almighty push, and it shoved me back with the recoil. So what it's saying is, if you can resist the almighty push, it repels it back. Not only does the Yadomir resist the almighty push, it also has a repelling effect.
Hold up. Interesting. I didn't know this existed. So this would actually mean... Wait, what? Hold up. Okay, hold up. Let me think about this. Pain was able to launch 3 toads, which in total mass and volume would eclipse Naruto's six-tailed self. But Naruto's six-tailed version is so strong that instead of being pushed, the jutsu actually recoiled and pushed Pain back. So then Almighty Push works very akin to the Force or certain telekinetic abilities, because even when you look at Naruto, even when you look at Obi-Wan and Anakin doing their Force pushes and both of their pushes repelled each other, it's not like that energy just dissipates, no. Because what I kind of assumed was happening was that Pain's ability was just a force that went out. I didn't think it had the ability to actually be repelled itself. But that's very interesting. That's very interesting. So we would need to find out what exactly makes Six Tails Naruto strong enough to give recoil pushback. Is it the dense chakra? Is it the overall power of the Nine Tails? Is it his AP? What exactly is the distinguishing characteristic that is allowing this Naruto to repel the attack, whereas he could send 3 huge giant toads flying and they eclipse him in total volume and mass?
So if Pain uses the Shinra Tensei against Itachi, he will actually get blown back horrifically with the Yadomir, and it won't affect Itachi whatsoever.
I agree with that. I have no problem with that. That makes perfect sense.
How do you go from 0 experience to flying?
Yeah, because number one, the Yadomir is not a jutsu. It is also a spirit weapon. Number 2, we've just seen that the Six Tails has enough power to repel him. Itachi, he not only has the Susanoo, but he actually has a shield that does repel. So yeah, I have no problem with
For
that.
one of the world's largest airlines? Let's find out.
Okay, so just so we're clear with chat, by the way, I want to say this before I respond to your point, because some people might be new here. This is not Edo Nagato, Edo Itachi. This is Sick Itachi versus Pain. And so I also want to say, just to help you out a little bit, this is not Hideout Itachi. We agreed on that before the debate started, right? Yeah, it's beginning of Shippuden, Itachi. Okay,
Yeah.
so this is beginning of Shippuden Itachi, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm sorry that I'm about to have to do you like this, bro. But can you prove that beginning of Shippuden Itachi has the counter mirror and don't complete?
Yeah.
Oh, hold up, John. Is that just what happened? Because I don't have access. You know, this is why I should. You know, guys, this is my fault. Because I'm trusting their words and stuff like that. I really should just be following along. Like this is fucking church, and I'm, now turn the page, turn to Leviticus. I really should just be following along. Not that I can't trust these guys, but man, oh man. All right, pain. Should be chapter close to 4. No, 3. I know he's like. Let me do 400 real quick. Okay, cool. Sasuke. Is the Leaf Village getting attacked around this time? This will tell me. All right. Okay. Holy hell, bro. Come on, show me the Leaf Village. No, this is all after, because the Sasuke retrieval mission happens after all this stuff. So it's like 420 or some shit. We'll go to 430. Yeah, it's way up here. Nice. At least I know some. At least I got some Naruto manga ball knowledge. All right, where were we looking for? We were looking for. What are they talking about right now? Oh yeah, that's right. I got you. Towards the end of the fight, Six Tails. Because if Naruto plants his tails into the ground, then I throw everything I just said out the window. This actually was about to do some things for the Naruto scaling if this was a true fact. But let me see first before I make that distinction. Okay, good. Okay. Ah, damn. John is right. I take it back. I take it back. Damn. This could have did some things for the series. I'm not going to lie. This could have did some things for the series. If Naruto had resisted the almighty push, just resisted it, this could have did some things for the series. So we see everything behind him, because he's rooted to the ground. Everything behind him starts to be pushed and uprooted up. But the force is so damn strong that it gets rebounded on the pain. He withstood almighty push and shoved me back with the recoil. Okay, so they're just completely like due diligence. Does it beat your bomb? Pain moves a rock in front of. Okay, cool. So yeah, they're wrong. Hey, thank you, John. That's crazy, bro. We got Luna Ursa in the chat. What's good, love? How are you doing today? All right, let me go back. John says, so I want to provide a guide that does an analysis of the data books overall and explains how to tell whether or not to use a given statement literally for power scaling. There's nuance. Man. So, okay, so then maybe I don't have to put out a video on it then. Because that's what I was going to do. My video was going to be more centered, pretty much what you just said, actually. If we're going to be using the data books, when and when do we not use them for scaling purposes, and how do we determine if a statement will be used for scaling purposes? What methodology should we employ to figure that out? So if you're going to do it, I will take a back seat and I will just reference your video, good sir, while adding on my own little 2 cents wherever I see. So that's dope, though. Good for you, bro. That's dope. Can't wait for that to come out. Yeah, I keep hearing people say the data books are either inherently true or false until proven the other way. And the thing is this, bro, too. I'm not going to lie. It's really, I hate to say, it's really only the Naruto data books that get this type of hate and vitriol because, number one, they are used for scaling out of the proper context in which they're being represented a lot of times. Number two, a lot of things in there do exist that can be taken at face value, but also should not be used as a scaling point. Sage's argument of, well, a majority of the things in the data book are true, therefore, most of the things that are in it are going to be usable because they're true. I would say this. We as power scalers, we're doing a specific activity here. We're not here to find out if Naruto went on 5 missions or not. We're not here to see Naruto's height. We're not here to see what Naruto's favorite food is. All that shit could be true and not have anything to do with power scaling. So if the objective is power scaling, if the goal is power scaling, if that's what the activity we're engaging in, we should be looking for truth statements that most relate to power scaling, not the data book as a whole. I don't know why we would look at the whole data book and say, well, if most of the things in here are true, we can probably just take all of it. We wouldn't do that. We're here for a specific thing, that being power scaling, to get the accurate and consistent numbers for where these characters scale. So we should find statements most in line with that goal and objective. Man, oh man. I heard that, bro, and I was like, huh? So because most of the things are true, no, we're not doing that. I'm not here to find out how many girlfriends Shikamaru has had. I'm not here to find out what Shikamaru likes to do on a Saturday morning. I don't care about that stuff. We're here for power scaling. Bro talks faster than he thinks. Is it a feat? No, it's a problem. It's a problem. What I really need to do is slow down sometimes. That's what I really need to do. Because I really hate getting jumbled over my words. It's really annoying, right? There's very little soul durability feats that exist in Naruto. And all that do exist have the victim not be able to resist or barely able to resist regardless of the amount of chakra the target has. That comes straight from the Ab-Stract section, Chains of Scarlet. You can find that in the Soul Crush hacks video, but that's an absolute fact. Yeah, I have notifications on, but didn't get a ping. Lucky I caught the scream. Yes, no, I'm lucky you caught the scream. I appreciate you thinking you're lucky, but no, I'm the lucky one. I'm glad that you guys were able to tune in. That's crazy, though. I don't know what's going on. Does anyone get a notification? That's so strange. It is safe to assume everything you mentioned combined. Gotcha. I don't really know what that's in relation to, but I will take it as okay. Another category fallacy. Naruto in Six Tails is kind of elastic with his tails in the ground. Then he springs forward and pushes back. The Yata mirror doesn't necessarily work the same way. Yeah. So here's the thing, too, right? Because they can be wrong about the instance that we just looked at with the Six Tails. Because they're completely wrong as far as he resisted. Because that would intimate that he didn't do anything on his part to resist. No, him resisting was by way of him physically trying to stop himself from moving. I wouldn't count that as resistance. I would count that as resisting. And the difference is one is innate and inherent to a character and what they can overcome. The other one is just force, right? The other one is just force. So when Naruto does this isn't like, yes, he's resisting, but we have to like properly use the semantics. He's resisting by like, this would be equivalent to like putting up a defense or stopping something. Yes, you can say they resisted. This wouldn't be a resistance though. In the conversation they're having about chakra and things being resistance versus resisting, for the Yata mirror, I would say this though, for the Yata mirror, the fact that is a technique that does specifically rebound attacks. I would say the same outcome would happen to pain, but I do agree with John here where the outcome or the means of by which the outcome happens is not the same. These are not the same things. The same thing wouldn't be happening here versus the Yata mirror. I believe it would work for a different reason than this. They're just saying he's resisting it. No, he's putting his tails in the ground and forcefully holding on. Yes, you can call that resisting, but no, that's not what we mean by resistance. And that right there, what I just explained, that right there, all that can be very annoying talking to people who are trying to win an argument and not come to an understanding about what's going on. Literally what I just said, oh, well, he's still resisting. You could argue it. I'm not saying he's not resisting, but that's not resistance. Those are two different things. All right, where's the YouTube at, bro? Okay, there we go. And let me just catch up on chats before we keep going forward. Excuse me. Way force would be dispersed. Oh, okay, yeah. The same way force would be dispersed differently with the shield. Kaiba Naruto can also just push people back with his chakra force. It's not necessarily the Shimmer Tensei itself being reflected. He can, but Naruto he usually does do that with a roar or like some type of SFX effect. Oh, is he roaring right here? Is he roaring right here? He could be. He withstood almighty push and shoved me back. See, but then we had the statement from Pain saying that it's the recoil of his push that pushed him back. So I believe you could argue both. I believe both could be argued. The Zanpakuto interacts with both physical and spiritual durability. The Tosuke Blade bypasses physical and spiritual durability. The Zanpakuto also bypasses spiritual durability as well. It can interact with both, but it does also bypass both Kuribo. For example, if a Zanpakuto were to hit Orochimaru, the fact that we've seen a Shinigami... So, actually, here's this, first off. I was having a conversation with Davs. Y'all know Davs, dumbass Davs. I was having a conversation with him, and I came to the conclusion that since it's the case that Orochimaru had his spiritual appendages cut off, and then a physical reaction happened to his body, I posit that people that are missing limbs, physical limbs, I actually think that that would cause a result in them losing their spiritual limbs. I do believe, because if the spiritual can impact the physical, the other way should be possible. I'm not saying it is, but it should be possible. And so if a Zanpakuto were to interact with Orochimaru and let's just say it cut off his arms, he should be losing that spiritual appendage. This would also mean, though, if one has healing abilities. How did I describe it to him? I was saying something like their soul would be forming around their physical body's state. I don't want to get this confused with being able to heal your soul, though. I don't want to get this confused with that. I don't believe that's what's going on. But I believe the shape of the body is conforming and contorting to the shape of the soul / vice versa. When Orochimaru loses his physical arms, his arms don't physically get cut off, granted, but they have a action to where like there's no life in them anymore. Right? We can't prove one way or the other, though, that if he loses his physical arm, that it would happen. But I'm saying the fact that we see an impact from one, we can use that as a means to base an impact on the other. At least that's how I was looking at it during that conversation. In fact, I might have to review that conversation on screen because it was very funny. Davs came to some very funny conclusions. He thought I was debating. All I was doing was theorizing, but he thought it was a debate. The most hilarious shit ever. I think we will review that one day, though. Them ads are wild yet again. Yeah, sorry, Ig. Hey, I'm going to turn on... I talked to... Shinigami mentioned. Yeah, I'm going to turn on Super Chat. So maybe if we get some good Super Chats, I don't have to do ads. We'll see. I always... LOL. All good, bro. I always interpreted the Nine Tails reflecting Shinra Tensei as an indicator of power behind the roar of the Nine Tails. Okay, so you're with the roar opinion too. Like this seems more like a growl, but there are shock lines coming out of here. But I don't know if this is for effect or if he's roaring here. But Pain attributes this to his almighty push being the recoil. I'm sorry, the recoil being the almighty push. He withstood almighty push and shoved me back with the recoil. He's not indicating that the roar is shoving him back. He's indicating that the almighty push is being forced onto him since Six Tails Naruto survived it or endured it. But I do believe you could argue one or the other instance. Damn that dog. Pain attacks Leif around 420. Thank you for that. Yeah, it's all hinting on whether or not that scene in the anime is filler. If I remember correctly, Sage Naruto shows up 430. Got you. One smart, where did you get the info, LOL? Where does it say the Tosca Blade negs spiritual durability? All we know is that it's a spiritual sword. Yeah, Karibo be making stuff up sometimes. Man, I miss these days when I used to debate people about Madara versus Aizen and rep Madara like hell. Oh, man. You used to rep Madara? Hey, shout out to you. It takes some balls to rep Madara in a Madara versus Aizen debate. I'm not even going to say that because scaling is subjective. Depending on how you scale Madara, you could definitely have him above Aizen. You could definitely do it. So I take that back. Also, not to kink shame, but Noodles going from taking Nairobi's arguments for his Uni Naruto video, then doing this whole Butler routine is a vibe. Interesting. What did he do? He took someone's arguments for Naruto being uni and then this whole Giovanni Butler thing. Tell me more, John. I was one of those guys who says bleached realms equal planets. Here's the thing about cosmology scaling. It's not as important as people think. Where your cosmology scales will usually have very little to do with your actual AP. Kaguya creating all her dimensions doesn't tell us a damn thing about her AP. It doesn't tell us a thing about her AP. Not really. Grid says, what does Naruto resisting it with his tails change? They're part of his body. Okay, so yeah, him resisting it with his tails versus. So here's what it is, right? Because this is when we get into you guys know how they say, oh, Naruto is the only series in where they don't have resistances to hacks and stuff like that, and they can't really overpower things. For example, you take Bleach. Aizen can resist certain things with just Reiatsu alone. You take One Piece. Haki, raw haki is now being used as a defense. I'm not talking about armament haki. Apparently, according to my twin brother, raw haki is now being used as a defense. So, if Six Tails Naruto were to resist this attack, just standing there, this would intimate a certain amount of chakra amount overpowering certain techniques by virtue of it just being chakra. The difference is he's resisting through force and not through raw power. Hope that made sense, Grid. Holding onto the ground with his arms. Yes, that's the difference I'm having. I have an even far more hardline stance on the data books. I believe you do. Yeah, we're going to review Dr. Strangle's, a.k.a. Acolyte's Epilogue. We're going to review his website because I want to read his data book stuff. John says, we could both do one FWIW. I don't know that acronym, bro. FWIW. We could both do one I don't know the acronym, but we could both do one. More perspective / ideas. Plus, I take forever to do anything, so don't let me stop you. Okay, I got you. Actually, you know what? You're right, bro. You're right. You know what I like? I like when things are true more than one person says it. Because I could definitely react to your video, and I will react to your video. But the fact that other people are also making videos on it, it gets it more out there. It makes it more okay to be in line with truth. So, and then, you know what? It will actually be interesting to see where we separate in this video and where we agree in this video. Because I'm pretty sure you won't agree 100% with the things I say, and I don't think I'll agree 100% with the things you say. So that'll also be a nice dichotomy. But I believe we have the same intent with doing the video. So absolutely, you're right, John. Let's both do a video on it. Oh, Ab-Stract, if you don't know, can you do a review or reaction to my debunk vid on Naruto scaling by Key? Oh, man. The guy who scaled Bleach terribly. I made it a part 2 series, 15 to 18 minutes, obviously when you're free. I got you, bro. I got to review your video, and who was asking me to review King of Lightning's video? I can't remember who it was, but I have it in my notes to review King of Lightning's video. I'll put it in my notes to review your video debunking Key. Ig, I got you. John says, to be honest, Sage just lied about that. Even if it's lie through omission, he happened to show databook statements that were mostly accurate, but there are plenty that aren't cherry picking, to be honest. Yeah. And even so, I don't care that he lied. I care that like that's what we would use for the basis of finding truth claims within a work. That's not what we would do. We would look for the things that most relate to the activity that we're doing, which is power scaling, and then start sifting through the truth versus the fact. That's what we would do. We're not going to take Naruto's height is true, so therefore 90% of the databook is true because it has 90% of bullshit information that doesn't relate to scaling. We're not doing that. B-Zook always gets notifications. That's good to hear because I was about to contact YouTube and be like, hey, y'all are stopping my greatness. My people want to tune in. They don't know when I'm live. Y'all got to fix that. So shout out to B-Zook. Shikamaru girlfriend tears lists when. Oof. He only has Tamari though, bro. He doesn't like. Shikamaru's not really Shikamaru's not like Ichigo. Ichigo got Nell. He got Orihime. Yoruichi was about to, yeah. I sometimes get your notifications. Okay, interesting. I had the perspective that most data books only have height, weight, blood types as new info, and 90% of the rest are just rewording of the source material, i.e. data slop, not real content. I agree with that. He counted by anchoring himself so deep into the ground that the force chose the weakest link to push back, and that just happens to be pain. Very good explanation, Scarlett. Very good explanation. I agree with that. We should include Kishimoto and what? He didn't specify he would rather date Shikamaru than his female cast. Kishimoto said that. That's interesting. Davs blocked me, which is amazing. That is amazing. You got blocked by Davs? That's actually kind of crazy. Fair points. I think it's recoil shockwave caused by Naruto flexing his chakra. See, Luna Ursa. Sorry, love. We just went through that. We just saw that couldn't be the case. The fact that he plants it. See, listen, no one more than me would have liked to see something like that from Naruto, because then that opens the door for other things, and I have to start looking at it with a different lens. But the fact that he plants his tails there tells us that he's fighting force with force and not force with power. I know you could argue semantically they're the same thing, but no, when we're talking about scaling and power scaling, it would be different if he just sat there and endured Shinra Tensei versus him planting his tails in there. It'd be different if it was his overwhelming chakra that stopped it versus him stopping it with the force of him holding his tails. And it's way different. And we got to look at it through that lens. So I'm sorry, love. I cannot agree with that. Luna Ursa, I interpret those lines like the spiritual pressure lines, a huge amount of force. That's a good way to interpret it too. It doesn't have to be speed, or it doesn't have to be like, it could definitely just be that. Aizen solos. Aizen would neg diff that bum. Madara can't fight anyone. Oh, I'm a little far behind. Let me catch up. Dr. Scrangle says, do you think anyone other than the Prime Soul King scales to the Bleach cosmology? Maybe just Yuha. Soul King Yuha and Yuha. I'm sorry, Soul King Yuha and Adonai. Yeah, those are probably the only people that scale to the cosmology of Bleach. But you know what? Let me stop that real quick. This is why I save certain things for formal videos. Because here's the thing, and I've always said this. Ichigo being able to kill Yuha as he is the Soul King, that means something. We can't just brush that off. It's important. Reiatsu is a direct showing. Reiatsu is a direct one-to-one to your stats. We've seen this. When they go up, when it goes up, stats go up. When it goes down, stats go down. We've seen this. So having the Reiatsu to affect the entire cosmology is important, but I don't know if that necessarily means Ichigo hits at the force at which Yuha can affect the worlds. I don't know if that means that necessarily. It means something, but I don't know if it necessarily means that. I wish Madara could win, but sadly it's never happening. Sadly not. It depends on how it was created, Ab-Stract. You know that, remember I explained and demonstrated to you how creation feats can scale to AP. No. Listen, I remember us having a conversation, Ig. I didn't agree anyway to Sunday about that though, bro. We had a conversation. I didn't agree to anything about that though. I don't hold creation feats the same as AP. I just don't. It doesn't make, like, here's the thing. Your creation feat has to actually cause some observable destruction before we can give it an AP. You creating vast amounts of space doesn't mean anything because you would have to prove that you can put that into any given singular attack. And then we'd have to factor in the volume type of destruction of that attack, right? Sariel and Tamariel creating a space with just water and sky and ocean doesn't mean anything to me. That's not AP. That's total energy. That's not AP. And then what is the joule value of water? What is the joule value of air or space with nothing in it? If you just created a white room, almost like a void, if you just created a white room that stretches out 200 meters, what is your AP? Because that's where we would have to start. We'd have to start with the most minute, small thing. And then if we start talking about filling that space up with energy, okay, cool. Then how much energy is that? But no, start with a white room. Start with a white room 200 meters across. What is your AP for creating that white room? That dude role-playing as his butler is Nairobi. Or Nairobi. Okay, if I remember correctly. Noodles' biggest vid on his channel is his multiversal Naruto video, which is mostly a rehash of Nairobi's argument scaling. Oh, that's great. So Giovanni is the guy that gave Noodles the universal argument for Naruto, and he's treating him as a butler. That's kind of hilarious. That's kind of wild, though, too. But hey, if he agreed to be Giovanni, he's not pushed back against it. I have no reason to intercede in the two affairs of men, or the affairs of two men. I have no reason to intercede in that. But hey, at least he credited him, though. Okay, that's good, at least. That's one area where he's better than Six. Gotcha. Yeah, but like 2 people are confirmed to have the hockey null, and hockey abilities are treated more as skills than inherent things. You get when you get to a certain level of hockey. 2 people are confirmed to have the hockey null, and hockey abilities are treated more as skills than inherent things. I agree they're not in. I mean, inherent for hockey is a bit interesting because everyone should have hockey. It's just whether or not you're going to actually awaken it. But yeah. But since it is Naruto verse, then it's probably a hacks that Kage used to create the dimension. I mean, it doesn't matter what verse it would be. It could be 7 Deadly Sins. It could be Bleach. It could be Naruto. It could be JJK. You creating something does not scale to your AP. Key's videos aren't worth discussing. Do you want me to send you the link to the vid in DMs? Sure, you can definitely do that. So I have a reference of what to pull up when it's time to watch it. Not Yoruichi, bro. She belongs to the GOAT Urahara. Yeah. Well, the physical logic of the recoil has no medium to pain, but a shockwave through the air. The physical logic of the recoil has no medium to pain. So, here's the thing. I would say the physical medium would probably be his hands. Mind you, they are the thing causing the push, right? And I don't know if you were in here, Luna Ursa, when I described this is similar to Obi-Wan and Anakin pushing their force pushes against each other. But if pain is in a place where, because we have to understand this, Almighty Push isn't unstoppable, right? It's not an unstoppable force. So if he's in a confined space, let's just say he's in a confined space, like let's say he is in a 4x4 prison and he does chaotic Shinra Tensei, that energy isn't just going to dissipate within the walls of that confined space. No, it's going to rebound and go to him and fuck him up and move him all around. Similarly here, he's pushing. Well, let's do this, right? He sees him coming at him. Almighty push. Naruto plants his tails in the ground. And the push happens. Right? He notices he's not pushed back. So the push happens. As he continues pushing, all that force that is not stopping Naruto would, in fact, since it, like, we see the force that does go past him. Yes, all this force goes past him. But Naruto himself still isn't being moved. So there's a certain amount of energy or So we can either look like this. The energy is still like going past Naruto, or it's more so being localized in the spot that's being pushed. And with pain continuing to exert chakra to push, and he's not moving, that energy can only escape back out to him. I'm guessing that's what Kishimoto at least would have been going for. All right, you guys are commenting way too fast, so I'm going to have to start the video because I can't catch up. I tried to catch up, but you guys are commenting too fast, so it's okay.
No, that is a baseless assumption. Like, you have to prove, because he found it at some
in that
point
time frame.
Why not?
I assumed I said in the beginning of the debate that he gets all of his abilities.
No. I did. No, you didn't. You didn't say he gets all of his abilities.
All right, I feel like Swag is being disingenuous here. Is he not granting the Yatamir? Let me go back to make sure. It sounds like he's not granting one of the spirit weapons or both. Let me go back. Because that's crazy to me.
Six Tails repels. In fact, I'll post the scan. When he repels the Shinra Tensei, he actually, I have it right here. We can just read it at the moment. So look at this scan, Swag.
Yeah.
It says, he withstood the almighty push, and it shoved me back with the recoil. So what it's saying is, if you can resist the almighty push, it repels it back. Not only does the Yatamir resist the almighty push, it also has a repelling effect. So if Pain uses the Shinra Tensei against Itachi, he will actually get blown back horrifically with the Yatamir, and it won't affect Itachi whatsoever.
Okay, so just so we're clear with chat, by the way, I want to say this before I respond to your point, because some people might be new here. This is not Edo Nagato, Edo Itachi. This is Sick Itachi versus Pain. And so I also want to say, just to help you out a little bit, this is not Hideout Itachi. We agreed on that before the debate started, right? Yeah, it's beginning of Shippuden Itachi. Okay, so this is beginning of Shippuden Itachi.
Ayo, Swag is sneaky. For someone who doesn't debate, he's sneaky. So he introduces this claim of, hey guys, this is not Edo Itachi, this is Sick Itachi. He gets Noodles to agree to that. And hey guys, just to make sure we're on the same page, this is beginning series Itachi, not Hideout Itachi. Yeah, right. Well, if this is beginning of the series Itachi, can you prove he had the spirit weapons with him all along? That's some sneaky shit for someone who doesn't debate.
Right? Mm-hmm. All right, I'm sorry that I'm about to have to do you like this, bro, but can you prove that beginning of Shippuden Itachi has the Yatamir and don't complete?
All right. Yeah. Listen, I don't know what the kids say nowadays. I hear the word ratting a lot. Would this be ratting right here, y'all? Is that ratting right there? Because that's crazy to me. That's crazy to me. Like, when the debate was set up, I'm pretty sure Swag knew the version of Itachi that Noodles would be representing. I'm pretty sure he knew that version came with his spirit weapons. But now that they are engaged in the debate, we're now going to question when he found the spirit weapons. That's a little crazy to me.
Yeah, he has it. Why wouldn't he?
No, that is a baseless assumption. Like, you have to prove, because he found it at some
in that
point
time frame.
Why not?
I assumed that. I said in the beginning of the debate that he gets all of his abilities.
No.
I did.
I didn't. No, you didn't. You didn't say he gets all of his abilities.
So you're saying if he does have this, he just bodies?
No. Well, let's establish.
Noodles is funny. Noodles is funny too, because where would you get that idea? So Swag's goal here is to stop the momentum of this shield and the sword even existing. Noodles jumps to, so if he has them, he wins. Where'd you get that idea? Like, no, bro, no.
Whether or not he has the Yatamir or the
I said he gets
blade
all the abilities he has when he's sick. He's just not going to die immediately. That's verbatim what I said.
No, I said something like that. That's what I said.
Well, that's just being like disingenuous wording then on your part. If
No,
you're
it's
saying
not.
something like that.
I did not agree.
So did you agree to that
premise.
or not?
No, I did not agree to him. Also, the Yatamir and Totsuka blade aren't abilities.
Yeah, that's just I specifically. It is still his thing though. It's like his ability to use.
I'll give you Yada and
the
Totsuka if it's the Uchiha hideout, but if it's at the beginning of Shippuden,
we can do
there's
Uchiha
literally
hideout then.
no evidence.
We can do Uchiha hideout then. That's fine. We don't.
Well,
need
that completely changes the Amaterasu thing then, because he only has 5 of those before he goes blind.
He didn't just use 5.
Yeah, he did.
He also used tons of fireball jutsus. He used the Susanoo.
Yeah, but,
he used the
no, but
Yadomir.
I'm not talking about his chakra.
He used the Tsukiyome.
I'm not talking about his...
Okay, all right. So this makes it a little different now. This makes it a little different. To Swag's credit here, if we are using this version of Itachi, that does implicate a lot of things. That's annoying. So like, why can't they just have a conversation where they're using this version of the character, but they're not subject to every fucking ailment or narrative thing that was going on at that time? Why can't we just, like, you know how in Dragon Ball Z you could just pick Super Saiyan Goku with his clothes dirty? Does that mean he has to get hit by Frieza's death beam? No, that means I just want to use this character in this form and fashion for this argument. Anyways, back to it. Swag distinguishing Uchiha Hideout versus beginning of the series of Shippuden. We don't really know how far Itachi's sickness progressed. We know in part 1, he used a single Amaterasu in Tsukuyomi twice. We don't know what happened in between those years, though. Honestly, I believe you could effectively make beginning of series Itachi and Hideout Itachi the same thing. I believe you could effectively make them the same person. Really, I do. But if he's wholly and solely focusing on beginning of the series Itachi and taking everything that happens up into that moment, this would mean, what did he do? He used a single Tsukuyomi, and he was starting to go blind within that fight with Sasuke. He used 2 Amaterasu. He used one technically to like evaporate Sasuke's fire and destroy that. Then he did it one more time where he was trying to chase Sasuke with his eyesight, and that's where it hit the trees, hit the forest, hit the hideout, it hit Sasuke. He doesn't do more than 2 Amaterasu in one use of the Tsukuyomi, and then he uses Totsuka Blade and Yatamir. Yeah, Swag is sneaky for a non-debater, bro.
Chakra, he used 1 Tsukuyomi and 5 Amaterasu, and then he went blind.
The way he... Okay, so yeah, for one, it is relevant to his chakra, and you're talking about him going blind or whatever. Even if he only has 5 uses of it, he can still cover the battlefield in 1 use.
I'm so confused where they're getting 5 uses. Where are they starting from? If they're starting from the hideout, does anyone recall 5 uses of the Amaterasu for Itachi? 5? Like he activates it, he stops it for a period of time, then he does it again 5 times. I remember 2 distinct times: stopping Sasuke's fire style, lighting the trees on fire, hitting Sasuke's clone, or hitting Sasuke, then Sasuke doing substitution. After that, Sasuke uses fireball jutsu. He breaks through the hideout. He does Kirin. He blocks with Susanoo. Where are they getting 5 times?
Like when he uses it against Sasuke. So it doesn't change the argument I made earlier.
But the Preta Path can just absorb that, like I said. Like if he shoots...
Yeah, we went through that about whether or not...
I came back. Turns out the energy required to create a room of 200 meters by 200 meters by 200 meters. The energy required, which is large country level. I used the equals MCR energy density. Man, oh man. Ig be killing me, bro. Ig be killing me.
Thought he was fast enough to absorb it and things like that. But either way, so okay.
And
just
he
to be
doesn't
clear,
cover the
real quick.
battlefield.
Let me clarify.
Let me say something else.
Are you having trouble
Cool,
trying
we got
to
a
keep
break.
up with your
So-
professor? You've got to try Otter. Here's how it works.
Yeah, so I remember, didn't we address this in DMs actually, Ig? I'm pretty sure we addressed this in DMs. But anyways, we would still need to necessitate that equaling AP, number 1. Because I do remember you used the equals MC square thing. I also remember looking into the science of that and not totally agreeing with it too. But I kind of just took it as an acceptance to keep moving the conversation forward.
By the way, everything I'm showing you is free.
First of all, he did not immediately attempt to cover the battlefield against...
It covered a big area quickly.
No,
like
but he
within 1
shot it
page.
directly at the dog. when they fought in Edo versus Edo. He shot it directly
It covered
at
the whole dog, yeah.
Yeah, but it covered the whole dog. But I'm saying
It covered the whole dog. Now I gotta fact check. I don't remember. I don't recall it covering the whole dog. It very well could have, but I don't remember that. Let's go look at it though. Shinra Tensei. Okay, so this is a little behind. All right, a little behind more. All right, a little bit behind even more. Yes, we're figuring out if his Amaterasu covered the entire dog. I don't believe that. I don't remember that happening. But it very well could have. All right, good. This is a little too far. No, it's not. I'm right. Cool. Okay. He puts it on two of the dog's heads. Bad angle. Where's Naruto seeing this from? He jumps off of him. Okay, that's a pretty big fire. Maybe it did cover the whole dog. That's a pretty big fire. Maybe it did cover the whole dog. That's funny, though, because it just makes Amaterasu more inconsistent. Covers the bird, covers Nagato. Now, Nagato is hit. Excuse me. Nagato is hit. He's hit here. He's falling. The bird is hit. They jump down. They're talking. They're explaining. They're talking. They're still talking. And he finally pushes it off. How many panels is that? That was a lot more panels than I thought it would be. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39. So damn near 40 panels go by before he pushes it off. And this is Itachi explaining his whole plan to Naruto. So we're not going to act as if no amount of time passed during this time. No, a lot of time passed during this time. And let's look at the damage. No damage to, so it didn't spread because the only thing damaged here is his arm. If you want to call these chunks, you could, but I would argue that this Nagato was already skinny to begin with, so chunks might be different for someone else. Yeah, chunks might, like for the Raikage, I don't believe this would be chunks missing at this point. He'd be burned, sure, but chunks, I don't think so. Anyways, starts to heal. Shinra Tensei. But okay, did it cover the dog? That's why we're here. Did it cover the dog? I mean, I guess. I guess so. Just brings even more inconsistency to it, though, because it didn't cover Nagato. Didn't see it cover the bird.
He shot it directly at the dog, which means he's going to have to use one of his 5 Amaterasu. He only used 5 against Sasuke before he went blind.
Okay, let's qualify that. Let's qualify that. Maybe Ab-Stract is totally wrong about this Amaterasu thing. I could be. I don't think I am, but I could be. 3. Cue the applause. Oh, that's still Sasuke versus Data? Damn, okay. I thought that was farther. Alright, this should be... What? Oh my god, bro. My Naruto manga ball knowledge is not as good as my Bleach. But I know these fights happen around the same time, so... Good. So we know he hasn't used Amaterasu yet. Excuse me. No Amaterasu, no Amaterasu. Good, good, good. Because 5 times is crazy. Maybe I'm mistaken. Pretending to stake his eye, breaks out of the Tsukuyomi. Cool, cool, cool. Shuriken, lightning style. Yes, yes, yes. Fireball. Itachi dodges. Chidori. Zetsu in the background. Look at Zetsu in the background. That's hilarious. So Itachi is able to evade, shoots his own fire at Sasuke, and is able to substantially burn his wings. Alright, let's see. Amaterasu. That's 1. Okay. This is 2. Let's get this, the final jutsu. So he stops the Amaterasu to put out the fire. Cool. Here's 2. Sasuke's running and moving. Hits the trees, hits the ground, hits the forest. Sasuke's running. Itachi catches him. Okay. That's 2. Are there any more Amaterasu present in this fight? Are there any more Amaterasu uses present in this fight? It would have been dope if he used Amaterasu on Kiden. Okay, the answer is no. I don't know where they're getting 5 times Amaterasu usage. I have no idea where you're getting this from. All right, let me catch up. Then we'll keep going. Itachi uses arguably 1 fire style clash, 2, 3 times pursuing Sasuke while he's dodging around, 3, 1 time that actually clips him. Okay, so are we counting the extended uses as use cases? I'm confused. Let me go back. Because I'm kind of counting it as activation and reactivation. So he puts out the fire, which was 1 whole one, right? He closes his eye. He opens his eye for the second activation. Now, are they counting these little like black spots? Because this is him using it 1 time continuously because he has to hit him. Catches him, and then he closes his eye again. So 5 times is crazy. Yeah, maybe if they've agreed he's doing it 5 times, then sure. You would never get me to agree this was 5 times him using Amaterasu though. No. Noodles, say so. If he has it, the wins is called an adverse inference. An adverse inference. Interesting. Is it wrong, LOL? I don't know. Thing is, Itachi already partially blind before the Sasuke fight. I think I counted all the Mangekyo uses from Itachi through the series. He gets like 12 plus, I don't know, 5 to 10 minutes of Susanoo. I did the same thing, actually. I did it in my Sakura video about her doing the ass pull punch. I only remember Itachi using Amaterasu one time during his fight with Sasuke. Granted, it was an extended heavy use, but still only one time. You know, see, I would count the activation and reactivation as 2 separate accounts. And by that means him using it on Sasuke's fire style would constitute as one time, right? Because it takes chakra to activate a jutsu and then to continuously use the jutsu. Him activating it though and then continuously using it isn't still like stopping and going. He's still using the same form of Amaterasu or the same Amaterasu that he like initially started with. So I would count that as 2. Edo Itachi fight is like 551. Thank you for these, yo. I'm a little slower. I gotta turn off my latency, get this higher. I don't remember arguing against it. If you did, I would literally clip out of your screen with Einstein and actually slap you with math. What do you mean you disagree with the No. If you go back and look in our DMs, you mentioned this in our DMs, bro. You mentioned this in our DMs. Or it might have been in the comments. No, I think it was the DMs. Hey, we got Neo Animatrix. What's goody, bro? How are you? They never said that about the black flames don't spread. Oh, they never said that the black flames don't spread. You know, that's Ab-Stract saying that they don't spread, or at least they don't spread consistently or very well. When we look at all use cases of Amaterasu, and the dog one is new to me because I haven't actually like looked at that dog getting hit with it like that. But when I look at all cases of Amaterasu, the spreading of it is extremely inconsistent and extremely bad, in my opinion. And I go off that by what we've seen it hit and how we've seen it affect those things that it hits. It didn't spread on Eda Nagato. It didn't spread on Karin. It didn't spread to the samurai skin, even though he's in armor. Makes no sense, but okay. What else? Sasuke was setting the whole 8 tails ablaze, so I don't even want to use that one because he was like literally... He was setting the whole 8 tails ablaze, so I don't even want to use that one, but yeah. Do you remember if Kabuto that is controlling Nagato? Yes, we went over this the last time I talked. Kabuto is definitely controlling Nagato. Let me go back to that. Hold up. Not this one. Okay, yeah. If we go here to the previous chapter, they found me. If I have to control, too bad I won't be able to. Okay, cool. Kabuto does his hands on, and both of them immediately jump into action. Right? Where's the thing though? Where's it at? Oh no, my body's moving on its own. This is all Kabuto stuff. He's not in control of his own movements. He doesn't have control over his faculties. He can speak, sure, but that's just because he hasn't erased him as a zombie. And I believe Kabuto also says, what else could he do too? Right? So we know he's being controlled this entire time. Let's go to that part real quick. Kabuto says, what else could he do? Where is it? Not that one. I'm going to have Ningen do extract their souls and kill them off. He'll hide their bodies and souls using the Jokudo, King of Hell, to bring them back. Yeah, so this is all Kabuto stuff. That's right. There's still the jutsu where he can create a planet that will trap them. Right. Yeah. Okay, delete that. Cool. A whole ass Zoom meeting goes by. I stand corrected. It was 2. I'm saying, bro. Each of the little poofs, they are counting separately. Oh, okay, so they are counting the little poofs separately. I don't agree with that, but okay. That's weird. That's weird to me, but okay. Noodles also tried to argue that turning it off counts as another use, LOL. That's insanity. So basically, if a water faucet is running and I turned off the water, I turned on the water because I turned it off. Another use of the water was being used. Oh, man. I used the water because I turned it off. Even though I'm stopping the flow, production, and accumulation of the water by turning it off, I used it actually because like I still interacted with the faucet handle. It was in DMs, but I really don't remember you saying E equals. I don't think I said it was wrong. I think I stood on the fact that still necessarily can. Like I said, bro, that is the first step. Okay, cool. You found total energy. Now we have to prove this, that, and the third. And then no, I'm gonna go look at it. Because when I was looking at it, I was like, I don't know if this is accurate. But not your work. I mean the actual like logic train of it. But we can do that later. It spread from 8 tails to Kadin. Yeah, I'm not arguing that it can't spread. I'm saying the time it takes to spread is terrible. Would you like to go look at how many panels it took for Sasuke to get it off of Kadin? And that it was only located, or the only burn marks were on her back and nowhere else, not her shoulders, not her arms, not her legs, not her head, not her, like, it didn't even burn through her even. I have to go. Hey, take it easy, Chains of Scarlet. Nice having you, bro. Take it easy. Okay. All right, not this.
Gonna have to use one of his. And
think about this,
five
right?
Amaterasu. He only gets 5. Okay, so let's say he gets 6 Amaterasu. Then he's gonna have to use. If he doesn't use Tsukuyomi, he gets 6 Amaterasu. He can use one of them on the dog, and then that's down to 5. Okay.
Okay.
And then there's still 6.
Real quick, you're misinterpreting what's happening when he's using the Amaterasu. He doesn't get 5 uses of it. The way that Itachi was fighting during that fight. Think of it like this, right? He had his Mangekyo active the entire time, so it's constantly draining chakra just from having it active. Itachi says this in part 2. So,
but
what he's doing when he fights Sasuke, I'm not done.
It's not about the chakra.
Hold on, real quick.
No, but I'm just prepping you so that you don't misrepresent.
But him having his eyes open, him having the Mangekyo would blind him as well, just having it activated. Like, it's just using your eyes too much, and if his eyes are active, that's using his eyes.
Well, okay.
So let me explain let me explain my argument real quick before we go any further.
Sure, go for it.
I think you can agree to that regardless. But what I'm gonna say is that the Amaterasu, the way he was using it during that fight, is as if he was intentionally stamina draining his eye. Like he was intentionally focusing behind Sasuke the entire time they were fighting. He was missing all of his Amaterasu. He was doing like a constant stream of fire going behind Sasuke. He was using it as if like, imagine he has like a mana bar and his mana bar is just draining because of the way he's using Amaterasu. He does not have to fight that way against Pain. He could just instantly focus on all of them and get them.
No, he can't. They all stand in separate spots.
It doesn't matter.
And if he attacks all of them at once, Shinra Tensei and the Path will nullify it.
Even if they're like standing in different spots, he doesn't have to intentionally.
Hold up, y'all. Bathroom break.
intentionally cast Amaterasu flowing behind them all. Like he was only doing that to Sasuke because he was holding back. That was like way overusing his Amaterasu, and the only reason he was doing like fighting this way was so
He literally can't hit them
out
all at once
Orochimaru.
It's like a do not disturb setting for your mind, and it gets you focused in just 5 minutes using science.
An AoE though, because he doesn't do that to the fucking dog when he fights Nagato.
The dog is instantly completely lit on fire when he hits him.
Yeah, and you know who isn't? Nagato by the same attack.
Nagato was on the bird.
Which means he
at that
can't
moment.
hit them both at the same time.
Nagato was on the bird.
Yeah, I know, and he can't hit them both at the same time. So if the panes move apart,
I'm not
Itachi
saying
can't hit them all at once.
I'm not saying that he's going to hit them all at the same exact time. I do think he can cover the battlefield, which will affect them all at some point or another.
5 of them bitches.
Hold on.
Five.
No, it's not 5 because he's constantly using the Amaterasu behind Sasuke, draining his mana bar. This is the reason I made that argument.
Wait, what? No, he just uses 5 Amaterasu.
So, but like the thing about that though is even to Noodles' credit, let's give him that. We just saw the Amaterasu. It wasn't like a flamethrower. It's not like he's shooting fire into the fire. The Amaterasu is constantly being. No, it is poofing out, poofing out, poofing out, poofing out. So if he has to target each individual pane and focus on them, will he maybe catch one in their glance? Sure. But if one is to the other side, like if there are 3 panes in a line, the way that we just saw him shoot out that fire. Where are we at? Oh, damn. Let's go forward. Oh, I can't go forward. Very interesting. Damn it, bro. What was Sasuke versus Bull? Hey, we got JJ in the chat. What's good? What chapter? I don't remember. I think I can find it though. Let me see. It was like 380 something. Okay, good. Not too far from here. Not too far from here. Okay, cool. I gotta remember this because we might have to come back to this. 390. All right, cool. Let's do this again. He uses an Amaterasu to put out the fire. Cool. So these get shot out as a poof, poof, poof. Oh, wait, is it actually? Am I wrong? Hold up. The way that's drawn, though. All right, so the fireballs, they are fireballs. Let me think about that actually, because Noodles may have a point here. Hold up. Noodles might have a point here. Sasuke starts to dodge. He starts to shoot. So if Sasuke is faster than this initial... Well, Sasuke moves first, and then Itachi shoots. Oh, you know what it is? Maybe it's not poofing out. Maybe this stream of fire is actually the same as this stream of fire, but it's been disconnected because it's going over such a long distance. Because this would give the idea... Hold up, though. Hold up. I don't know if that makes sense. The way it's following Sasuke... The way it's following him is actually giving that flamethrower vibe. It's giving that flamethrower similarity. Looks, fire's coming. Looks, Sasuke's nervous. Wing gets clipped. I just wish we had better panel shots of it happening, though. And actually, the fact that, well, I'll say this too. And no, it's okay. Maybe Noodles has a point. Let me go back and hear that in full with me seeing this now. I'm glad I did that. 1:45:23. So let's go right here.
Is that the Amaterasu, the way he was using it during that fight is...
Why'd we stop? Something wrong? There we go. Okay. Yeah. I think it's open to interpretation. That's the problem with it. If I had to take a stance though after reviewing that just now, I don't mind Noodles' interpretation. Honestly, I don't. It makes it tough because this fire isn't like a flamethrower. It does have a certain amount of like actual like mass to it or materialism to it. I don't know. Like if this was a normal fire, like it would be shot and dissipated over time. This doesn't do that. It doesn't behave the same way. He shoots it. This is when Sasuke dodges it, and it falls onto the ground in clumps though. It falls in clumps. It doesn't fall as one stream of fire. It falls in very definable clumps. So what that also could mean is that what's it called? For every second he's using the attack, it would generate like a higher discharge of fire. Like if this was the first initial activation of it, clump, and then it might be like a stream of fire, and then another poof, like clump of like heavier fire coming out. It could work like that too. But then we have this right here. I really don't like this panel. I wish we had a far out, like a wide shot view of this panel, not Sasuke's back perspective, because rightfully so, this could be the like where my mouse is. This could be the clump that we're seeing, and y'all see how this fire trails off of the back. This could be the back end, and another clump might be starting to form here. But also time is relative too, because he's running. It cuts back to the wing. It's already close to the wing here, but it's close to the wing here. He's running and looking, and then he gets hit. So it's also time and angle perspective as well. But now that I've seen it, I take back what I said. Noodles' interpretation here isn't totally wrong in my opinion. The flamethrower analogy could have weight, which means if he were to do this to the Pains, while I still disagree that him just quickly turning his head will hit all of them, there has to still be a degree of focus, right? But I do believe him setting the battlefield ablaze would be a lot easier if we yield to that interpretation of the flamethrower. Learning something new. Shout out to Noodles. Learned something new just now. So the other thing we'd have to take into, though, is positioning, too. For example, if you had one path of pain 20 meters from Itachi and then another path of pain 50 meters from Itachi, are we going to say the fact that he looks they're both in his line of sight, that they both get hit at the same time? I don't know about that. I don't know if he can focus on the one 50 meters away as well as he can focus on the one 20 meters away. This is like assuming they're all just going to be standing in a line and they're all going to be like relatively spaced out and stuff. No, this is a fight. They're all going to be moving and active. They're going to be different distances apart. They're going to be in different positions. They're going to be in different aerial locales. So two of them might be on a goddamn bird in the air. One's definitely going to be hiding in a chameleon. Tendo Pain might be floating doing Shinra Tensei. Shirado Pain might be jumping up shooting missiles or whatever. So the idea that he can use the flamethrower approach, I think, is fine. I think when we get into the actual logistics of how this would actually go down, I don't think there's too much to worry about for the Pains in this interaction, though. I don't know why I did that. The thing is, Itachi's not immune to his own Amaterasu. If it affects the Pains, it affects Itachi too. I don't know why, like, that's not even being considered. Euphemism, you're dumb. You have a very simplistic way of. Let me stop. He might not be saying that. Let me hear that again. Strain on the eyes. I was actually strain on my eyes, actually. No sound? Oh shit, my fault, y'all. My fault. God damn it. I'll go back. Luckily I didn't. Y'all didn't miss too much. I'll go back there. Y'all didn't miss too much.
Battlefield.
Yeah.
You know.
Y'all ain't missed too much. That was my fault.
That's just ludicrous. But either way.
Why would it be ludicrous? There are benefits to using both.
I don't think there's benefits to using both. In that regard, like I think that using a tiny fire.
Sound should be good now, guys. That was my fault. When I plugged in the charger, I think it just disconnected from the thing, but it should be good now.
He accidentally lit Karin on fire with the giant one that engulfed B, right?
Yeah, and then he puts it out.
Right, so that is a benefit of using a smaller one.
So
That wouldn't have
do you
happened.
think that like, okay, let's put it to you this way. So you think that him using the Amaterasu in the way he did, where it's flowing behind him, is doing less eye strain than him just creating a little fire?
I would say it's doing more eye strain.
So
with
like
the
him
flow.
flowing the Amaterasu behind Sasuke is just creating is the same amount of
Beautiful.
strain as creating a little fire.
Okay, so I
think it uses significantly less chakra. So I would intuitively say that it would not be the same.
I gotta ask you a question back then, bro, because
So I didn't answer
you
his
said
question.
that was what he was gonna try to do to defeat Pain, right?
Yeah,
is try to do one of these big ass battlefield.
Yeah.
You know, just like fucking flamethrower type shit.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I think he could do that. He does it.
You think that wouldn't blind him if it causes more strain on his eyes?
We saw him do it, and he wasn't blind.
He saw. Okay, here, hold on. Let's get the scan of every time he uses Amaterasu so that we can understand.
You can do that if you want. I'm not doing all that, but either way.
All right, Six. Would you do me a favor and grab every Amaterasu scan for this man?
Either way,
I'm only doing that if Noodle says I can.
No, I'm not doing. I don't care about that. Like I don't care. Like if you want to go grab every instance, I don't really think that's. I don't think it's progressive to the debate. So no.
I think it's extremely. Okay, I guess I'll do it then.
Yeah, you can do it if you want to. But
do you at least have the chapter numbers for me, Six? For Sasuke versus
The fight starts 384 and they go outside on 389. So.
Okay.
Bro, the Six was like, fucking, thank fucking I'm gonna find them.
I just think that it's kind of pointless because we already know the uses he has of the Amaterasu. There's one for you.
That one's getting bigger as it goes out, though, just because it's like.
I know. I'm not talking about that. Someone that lit it out. I'm talking about like you can see there's like 3 different spurts of Amaterasu there, right? And then there's like a stream behind Sasuke.
He uses it once and it gets caught on the ground there. That's why.
Like, do you remember when Sasuke fought B? It doesn't get caught on the ground. What are you talking about?
Yeah, there's like a little rock thing where it like splooges off a little bit.
No, it's above the rock.
No, it like goes through the fucking. Hold on, I gotta look at this shit again. This is so stupid.
I know. What are you talking about?
There's a very goofy thing that we gotta talk about.
It's like you can see the path in the top right panel. It's going over the rock. Like, look at the top right.
Yeah, zooming in. Over. No, you're right. I agree.
Yeah. It's not. It's like you see how it's getting closer to like the R perspective. Yeah, but anyway,
I still don't think that necessarily proves it's more than one use.
Well, I'm saying is look at Itachi's eye strain. The more he uses it, the more he's like focusing that stream. You see how much more blood is coming out than if he just did it like once and stopped. It's because he's having to focus with the Mangekyo the whole way. So it should just be intuitively reasonable to both of us that the more he's holding this Mangekyo out.
No.
I
can agree with this. I can agree with this. Yeah. So let me see. So that's 3 shots. Okay, we got. I just want to establish how.
So like if you're at the gym and you're on the bench press, because I was thinking about this. If you're at the gym and you're on the bench press, and you do 2 reps, right? You do 1, you come down, and then you do 1, except you hold it, and you hold that for like 10 seconds. Did you still only do 2 reps because you held it? The answer would be yes. You only did 2 reps, but you did hold it. Then the question becomes, well, okay, was you holding it more strenuous than you having to bring it down and continue to do more reps? I think the answer for that would answer what's more strenuous for Itachi to do.
Many Mangekyo shots Itachi has before he goes blind. Because he's probably going to need to use these big ol' AoE Amaterasus, right? Like
here's another one. This is
my work is easy because I use ClickUp. Here's how I keep track of all my tasks. I start by brain dumping everything I need to get done. And
this is where he actually.
And to make that conversation a little bit more interesting, take a weight that you're not comfortable with. Like for example, I bench like 225. If I go up to 245, I can get it off. I can definitely get it off, right? And if I were to do 2 reps of 245. I'm trying to imagine myself right now. I could hold the 245, yes. But is it more strenuous for me to do the lift off or for me to hold it. And I guess that depends on like how long I'm holding it too, though. Because there are, in some instances, me holding the 245, just holding it up, is a lot easier than the lift off. But if I'm really, really, really tired, that lift off ain't happening at all. If I'm really, really tired, that lift off ain't even happening. As opposed to where if I am tired but I already have it up, I can definitely sustain the weight that I've been holding. You know what I mean? So that's very interesting.
Hits Sasuke, and then he also puts it out after this too.
Yeah.
So there's 5 already.
He puts it out. I don't believe that.
6.
Okay.
If you want to grab another one just to make it faster, we can. Just grab like 2 or 3 more. Like there's other instances where he uses it. Like
Six just say in chat, these fellas tell me not to grab the scans, then send all the
I didn't say, fellas, there's only one before this, and there's one he uses on
the one where he does
Sasuke's
the fireball jutsu, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He does a big one with the fireball jutsu. So there's 6, and then there's another one that's 7. So there's 7 uses right there.
Oh, why would he not be doing these like mega? Why would he not be doing these?
They went from 5 to 7.
Blasts against pain. Like, why would he be holding back against pain and doing like?
I think he would do a mega. Like I literally argued he would cover the battlefield in it, and I don't think that the one path even has the time to absorb it.
Oh yeah, he does. But we talked about that already, so you know.
Yeah.
We can stay off the speed shit because we'll be on that forever.
Well, I have one more speed point I want to make later that's not really relevant to this, but it'll come up when we talk about the Tsukiyame.
We'll end this in 10 minutes,
What I do want to bring up now
guys.
is we were talking about the
2 hour
Shinra Tensei
mark.
a minute ago, right? You were arguing the Shinra Tensei could work on Itachi. Do you agree now that the Yatamir would just reflect it back at pain and not?
I don't know if it would necessarily reflect it because what Naruto did was like physically overpowered pain. So I don't know if I would agree that it would reflect it, but I do agree that it probably but I agree that the Yatamir would block Shinra Tensei. But
if it blocks
again,
it will
so if we're using Yatamir Itachi, that's Uchiha Hideout Itachi, right? Like we're in agreement there that it's not start of Shippuden.
Yeah, we can switch to that. I didn't realize that you were gonna try and like use this like weird disingenuous wording, like where we're like
it was disingenuous. I didn't think it was disingenuous.
It was cheeky.
No, stop, Swag. Swag definitely thought it was disingenuous. That's why he preferenced. I'm sorry, I have to do this. You definitely thought it was disingenuous, but it's okay. You know, it's okay. These things happen.
It was a little bit cheeky. It was supposed to be funny.
That's what I'm saying.
It was supposed to be funny, but I wasn't
don't like it when
trying to
people do that kind of stuff to me, though. It's just irritating because like I'm trying to have like legit debate, but yeah.
Noodles, you do that. That was probably even wilder than what Swag just said. Noodles, you do that exact thing. You literally just argued Konohamaru is as fast as the Rasenshuriken, bro. You literally just argued he could dodge it, keep up with it, and that all the paths are the same speed. You don't like when people do that to you. Swag was justified.
Anyway,
okay.
What I'm gonna say is like it would reflect it because the fact that Naruto just like didn't move by it, that alone reflected it. So if it blocks it at all, like
no,
that's
Naruto
what Naruto
was
did.
like swinging into it.
Naruto put his tails in the ground and stood his ground. That's how he.
No, didn't he swing his arm at it?
No, like he literally like when he sees pains about the
see
Shinra Tensei, he sticks his tails in the ground, just like burrow in. That's like you can see it's like the pitter patter shots where his tails start like digging in the ground. It's really
Oh
clear
yeah,
in the
and
anime.
then he literally says yee yee.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying?
He goes yee yee her, and then he fucking blows that shit back. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
It still does look like he's trying to lunge forward though. I don't know if the Yatamir would do the same thing.
Yeah, I understand that like you may think that it won't do it, but like the fact is like just resisting it at all does already make it recoil. So not only does it just blocking it make it recoil, but the Yatamir itself will reflect any attack. Any attack.
What I think we can agree on, regardless, is that the Yatamir will block Shinra Tensei. Like I'm granting that.
Yeah, I think it'll reflect it too.
Can you prove that the Yatamir would block Chibaku Tensei? Because I don't think there's any reasonable.
Let me finish this before we go into Chibaku Tensei. So the reason this is relevant is because when Pain goes to use Shinra Tensei against Itachi, you know that there's like a 5-second interval where he can't use it again, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What happens in that 5 seconds after he blocks the Shinra Tensei? When Itachi locks onto him at the speed of light, like has so much speed in his reaction and focus speed that he locks onto him at the speed of light and Amaterasu's him in his focus.
Well, first of all, he wouldn't necessarily run up to the Yatamir and Shinra Tensei. he could just
He
see
do it
the
from
big ass
range.
Susanoo and start running away. He
It
could,
don't
no, he could just
matter.
start running away to outlast Itachi, who's sick. And
It
coughing
don't
up
matter
blood
when
and
he
shit.
uses it like you said he was, and it gets.
I never.
blocked.
No. I never said he would use it on the Atamir. I said that.
I'm not saying he would, but
Atamir
that's what
block it.
Itachi's response would be to the Shinra Tensei. That's what he would.
Yeah,
block
but
it
you're
with.
saying no, but you're making like an active claim about what would happen after. I'm just saying he's not necessarily going to use it at all anyway.
You don't think he'll use the Shinra Tensei?
Offensively, no. I think he'll use it defensively.
So if he uses it defensively, let's say like Itachi's pressuring him with some of his ninjutsu, like fireball
like
and
with
stuff.
Amaterasu?
Sure, he could use one of his uses of Amaterasu right there. Like let's say he uses it right then. What stops him from doing it at light speed again to Pain and incinerating him with his light speed focus?
So they're like characters that move at light speed and shit. That like the 5-second thing, like it doesn't like here. Hold on, there's like
matters.
so many examples
Like-
of Pain.
I'll put it to you this way: there was a moment during the Pain fight when Naruto gets his Rasenshuriken blocked by the Shinra Tensei, right? Like he blocks the Shinra Tensei with the Rasenshuriken, and what immediately happens after that? And one of Naruto's clones comes down and slams the dog shit out of the Naraka path. If he actually misplayed there, he misplayed because if instead of killing the Naraka path right there, he could have got Tendo.
Not Tendo though. Not Tendo.
He could have got Tendo though. Is what I'm arguing. If he would have chose
The 5-second shit is just weird, bro. Because
he
like,
had enough time to hit him in that time frame. Though.
How far can your apps go?
Honestly, I don't even know if that argument is analogous, or I don't know if that argument holds as much weight, simply because Pain didn't even know Naruto was there, so we wouldn't have got to see how he reacts. But on another note, we have seen Pain use Shinra Tensei and then be able to react to things he knows are coming. He didn't know that Naruto was coming. Yes, he could have hit him, but it doesn't really have any utility because he wasn't on guard.
You're saying he misplayed by hitting Naraka when the reason could have been that he didn't have enough time to hit Tendo.
I can tell you why he picked the Naraka path.
It was because he didn't want it to revive Tendo, right?
Katsuyu specifically told him that he should get rid of that path because it's reviving the others. So I actually think that's a misplay though, because like you said, it's not really the combat path. So like, what's funny is like if he would have just like they were right next to each other, so there was nothing stopping his clone from just double Rasenganing the fuck out of Tendo.
I don't want to get fucking like bogged down in speed again. So we're saying that Itachi fucking shoots Amaterasu at
he can focus at the speed of light.
He shoots Amaterasu at the fucking Tendo, and Tendo blows it away. Then what I would just say is
he can focus at the speed of light. He can focus at the speed of light.
Comes in and absorbs it. Yeah, Prada comes in and absorbs it, right? So this doesn't really move the needle at all. No, this doesn't, because we're just
I'll
stuck
say
on the
this,
same
there's no
as
proof
Prada
that
versus
other path could get in the way at light speed. There's no proof of that.
The Rasenshuriken runs alongside Laser Circus.
You mean the KCM Rasenshuriken, the one that's stated to be stronger than when he fought Pain?
The Rasenshuriken runs along the Laser Circus. The KCM Rasenshuriken. So this is an issue because we get to a point where light speed has already been introduced in the conversation now. He can focus at light speed. He's bringing up the Laser Circus as a speed feat / calc. But if everyone's already light speed, bringing it up shouldn't be relevant. In fact, if you would argue Naruto is faster than light speed, then Noodles would actually have a point saying if it's only as fast as light speed, then Naruto should, in fact, have ran up with it and hit him. This is why it's good to be internally consistent. I don't like that.
The thing about that is you said that the Rasenshuriken doesn't scale to the user.
I said it's not provably scaling to the user.
No, but if
if
it doesn't scale to the user, it's at least light speed because it travels.
There's no proof that it didn't get
speed.
faster too, though. Why? I wouldn't like if his base physicals like
This is so ass, bro. Nah, this is ratty.
It's not ratty. It's just true.
So okay, you're saying it doesn't scale to the user, and then because Naruto got faster and stronger, the Rasenshuriken got faster and stronger.
Those two
but
things
it doesn't scale
those
to
things
Naruto?
aren't mutually exclusive. Like those
Yes,
two
they
things.
are.
No, those two things can happen at the same time. Like both Naruto.
And I don't even believe those claims. All that happened was Naruto got more chakra. I mean, like, that's so. I mean, it's fine.
Naruto and the Rasenshuriken got faster, and it still doesn't scale even after it got faster. Naruto also is getting faster. His physical speed is getting faster. So that means they're like both, like the Rasenshuriken is below his speed when he's fighting in Sage mode, right? It can still be below his speed when he's fighting in KCM, but still faster than the previous moment when he throws it at Pain in Sage mode. That's totally possible.
Okay.
In fact, that is.
Never mind. Noodles is internally consistent. He just made it internally consistent with his previous statement of Rasenshuriken. So, okay, never mind.
That is what's happening.
No, you have to prove that.
I just did. It
No,
stated that he's
no,
stronger than he fought Pain. Hey, I'll give you a new argument.
And you just argued that the Rasenshuriken doesn't.
You want a new
scale to
argument for
him
why
in
it's faster? Naruto is stated to have got stronger, and he's also moving at the fastest he ever did because he did specific training to increase his travel speed to get on Minato's level, which he wasn't previously. And then he finally gets this insane travel speed
of the Rasen.
What specific training did he do to increase his travel speed? What specific training was that?
Shuriken that doesn't scale.
Because you were arguing earlier that he throws it, so it scales to his physical speed.
I was arguing that, but you
by your logic, it should be faster too.
But you were arguing that it doesn't scale to him, so I am referencing your argument back at you.
But hold on,
I'm just telling you to stay consistent.
It doesn't matter if you reference my argument. From your perspective, you would agree.
No.
You don't want to talk about your perspective?
No, I do, but what I'm so wait, are you conceding the point or not?
All I said was when we were talking about the previous one, there's no proof that it moves at the same speed.
So do you think that it scales to Naruto or not?
I don't think it scales to Naruto. There's no proof of it.
Okay,
so why would I think
it? Be the same. So then it's the fucking same.
I don't think it scales to Naruto and KCM either.
You don't see how you're folding right now? It moves alongside Laser Circus when KCM Naruto throws it. Why is it faster though? If it doesn't scale to Naruto, why is Naruto getting faster?
I think his throw speed.
So like, does Swag think Naruto is slower than Laser Circus? Because then he'd have to be saying Naruto is slower than Light Speed. I don't believe he believes that. That's where the problem comes for Swag. Noodles is actually remaining internally consistent. If the Rasenshuriken is as fast as Laser Circus, but Naruto is faster than the Laser Circus, then that makes total sense.
Relevant. I never said that his throw speed wasn't relevant. What I said was his throw speed can be slower than his other kinds of speed, like his combat speed. That was the reason I brought up his taijutsu speed earlier. I think taijutsu speed can totally be faster than your throw speed. But the fact is, his throw speed is still being amplified by the KCM cloak, so it would be moving faster by your same argument. And it doesn't go against my argument because I never said that the throw speed didn't matter. I did say it mattered. No,
so,
I never
said that. To the same effect, though, if he's in Sage mode and he's throwing the damn thing, he's boosted by Sage mode, so that would make the Rasenshuriken faster than his base, which would mean it doesn't scale to him. On Swag's point, that is. Noodles is saying it doesn't scale to him because he's slower than it. Swag is saying that it scales to him, he's the same speed. Ab-Stract is saying the damn thing is faster than him. But yeah.
Throw speed didn't matter, so it doesn't go against my argument. It doesn't it doesn't like I never once stated that his throwing strength or his pitching ability does not matter. It does matter, but the fact is I'm questioning whether his pitching speed is the equivalent to his taijutsu speed.
I'm just saying that you're
contradicting.
Whoa, wait, hold up. The whole Noodles' whole thing about Noodles' whole point was about taijutsu, not movement speed. So why was Swag arguing he could just run up and hit him with it? Because that's movement speed. That's a point A to point B. That's not combat speed.
Just explain how that's not the case, though.
No, you said the reason why the Rasenshuriken would be faster is because Naruto said he got stronger, but if it doesn't scale to him, it
For the
Very
first time in modern history, college students
doesn't matter.
I know. I said I don't think it scales to him because there's no proof
Then
that the hold on, I'm not done, I'm not done.
Naruto.
All right, y'all. That's 2 hours. Yo. There we go. Okay. I'll just reread some of those chats. Yeah, it should be good now. All right. Shout out to Shinigami. Appreciate you for keeping the flow of the live moving. Because I didn't know I was muted. I don't know how I got muted. But anyways.
I don't know how you got muted either.
Yeah, it's weird, bro. It's weird.
Oh, there we go.
It's bad. Okay, good. I'm going to go back and read some of those chats because I don't think you guys heard.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, thank you, bro. Appreciate you.
Anytime.
All right. Okay. Back to reading. Lost sound. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Appreciate you shooting at me. Let me go back to where was I, bro? I was just reading chat for you guys. All right. Noodles is a better tactician than Katsuyu, I guess. My bad. The liar versus the illiterate. That's hilarious. That's an insult. John says, JJ LOL, which is which, I wonder. We talk about Naruto characters. I mean, current Naruto needed his final form to catch up to a train. Nasty work. Damn, they might be James Bond victims. Crazy. Noodles drinks petroleum because he's convinced it makes him run faster. This is when I said, Noodles, don't eat the yellow snow. Shani with the James Bond agenda. I'm here for it. I will push the James Bond agenda until a single Naruto fan can come here and prove Ab-Stract wrong. Chill, Meg, chill. Dr. Scrangle says, this debate has devolved in such a funny way. I agree. It's very funny. Once that happens, I'll drop it. Naruto was just flying to the border. Naruto was just flying to the border? Flying? Noodles is just juggling swag XDD. That's crazy. Mute, can't hear you. Mute, muted, no sound, can't hear you. Mute, F. He's going to read out all the chat messages, then get to the end with all of us saying he's muted. That's hilarious. Anyone on PC tag him. Ab-Stract, he's crying. He's still muted. Check if y'all can't hear him. Lost sound. Sound is back. There we go. Curse YouTube! Hey, man, I appreciate you guys. Let me go up a little bit more because I read some more before it was unmuted. So let me get those out the way real quick. Ab-Stract looks like he is absolutely done with these two. Yeah, it takes a lot of energy. So I don't mind, listening to debates is actually fun, but it does take a lot of energy because you have to just keep track of here. And then you're like, well, hold up. This didn't happen in the story. Well, hold up. Did this happen in the story? So yeah. Also, when you're not participating, but you want to actually say stuff like you're debating, it can also be like that too. Swag, let's get evidence. Noodles, nah, I'm not doing anything like that. Not doing that. Why would we need to? That's not productive to the debate. That was like, all right. Like, don't get me wrong. From Noodles, I'll say this. From Noodles' perspective, when Swag said that, I can understand it because Noodles is like, I already know what's going on. If you want to get evidence, you can do that, but I don't need it. So I can kind of understand that. Sukiyomi. Bro, Noodles gets uninstalled. That's hilarious. Noodles is a hypocrite. Yeah. Trying to have a genuine debate. Biggest lie of his career, to be honest. Yes. Don't know if y'all heard, but it was extremely funny with that whole Konohamaru thing and the whole, what was the thing Swag said? Prove that he had the spirit weapons before the high. Yeah, that was like crazy. Both of them are wild for that. Can Rinnegan break free from Tsukiyomi? I answered yes to this, probably just based on the fact that Sasuke's Rinnegan can resist the infinite Tsukiyomi. Plus, Rinnegan is a higher dojutsu in and of itself, so I would probably say that. And I think that's everything. Oh, Karma, you just got here, bro? Damn. Karma, you just got here, bro? You're going to have to catch the VOD. You're gonna have to catch the playback. As John said though, W stream, it was really, really fun. I'm probably gonna be streaming later today. I just gotta eat and do some stuff around the house, do some laundry and stuff like that. But I'll probably be live again later. But yeah, good talk so far. While I was listening to the stream, I worked on and just got done updating all 41 volume posts of One Piece to have a button to bring to you the previous or next VOL to easy the friction of reading. I appreciate that. That's dope. And I will check the things you just sent me on Discord. I saw some stuff. I will also be checking Majin's stuff. He sent me some stuff on Discord too. Some more stuff, I think. KKKKKK. Oh, fuck. Pack, you just got here too? Damn. Where y'all at? Like, wait, bro, we winding down now. Look. We in 2 hours now. We started back like around, where we start? Like here? We're 2 hours in now. How long the stream been going? Where's the time? Stream been going for damn near 4 hours now. Yeah, we 2 hours in, y'all. We about to get out of here now. But like I've been saying, I probably will be live again. Should I send the links too? Yes, Ig, send the link for your video. And real quick, actually, I want to, because I saw the thing that we talked about. Hey, yo, Ig, me and you have some funny conversations in our DMs. Me and you have some funny ass conversations. Not like haha kiki funny, but I want to say just like, am I a human? I better be. Okay, well, I can't log into my goddamn Discord. New login. Please check your email. Okay. Yeah, Ig, me and you have some funny conversations. I might review those one day. Review those one day. And of course, not to disparage you or me, but kind of just let everyone know where you're coming from when you say these things. Okay. Pack says, I didn't get the notification. Yeah, that's crazy, bro. We were so unserious about this one. Like shit. Getting some eyes on the post will motivate me to go back and fix all the misspelling errors. Got you. All right. Yeah, I need this on my computer. I don't know how this ever got off my computer, but it is what it is. So I'll check that out later. But yes, Ig, you can definitely send me. You can send me the video for the review, and maybe that's what we'll do later. We'll do some video reviews because I can't remember who was asking me to review King of Lightning's video, but I wrote it down in my notes. So we'll definitely do that, and I'll check out your video. I'll check out your vid on Key, bro. So yeah, can delete this one. Oh, you know what? Before I get out of here, let me see if I can find that Twitter argument real quick with me and Davs. Go to replies. No, I gotta go to search. What was the conversation? I know I used the word conforms. No. All right, hold up. Okay, cool. Yeah, we're going to review this conversation one day. But where's the one with the apps? The same could apply to human personality. Okay, cool. Beautiful. Here it is. Yep, here it is. Oh, I favored it, so it's already in here. Okay, cool. Okay, yeah. We'll do this. Let's remove this from bookmarks and add it again. Okay. But all right, y'all. We out of here. Got to eat breakfast. Let me just catch up on the last things. You know, Pack, it's crazy that you didn't get a notification. It's crazy that Karma didn't get a notification. But hey, YouTube is trying to stop the greatness. Trying to stop the spread of the good word, as you would. 604 was deposited from what? Oh, that's tax returns. Okay, cool. Nice. All right, y'all. Take it easy. I'll get up with you guys later. This was fun. We'll probably be reviewing this was part 4, so part 5. Oh, no, this was part 3. We'll probably be reviewing part 4 Sunday. I want to say Sunday.